Welcome, everybody, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Christmas special. This is the League of Extraordinary podcast. All the podcasters around the world. Let me go ahead and introduce our fellow League of Extraordinary podcasters. Let me go ahead and start off. They give the people what they want, and that is from Harlem, New York. That is Kofi Weedston of the Dirty Heels podcast. How are you?
Too sweet. I'm all right. Kofi Weedston, one half of the Dirty Heels podcast. We are here. My good brother Bo couldn't be here, but we are here. We're here to show love, man. That's it.
All right.
And then love is love. Yeah?
Love is love. That's right. Definitely. And also we have from Manhattan, New York. He's styling. He's profiling. He's wheeling, dealing, kissing, son of a gun. And that's the man himself with the James Bond suit. That is Jonah from Rewind, Recap.
That's our Burrow brother.
It's great to be here. Thank you again for having me. I love that we grew this time. I don't know if we can grow any more, honestly, and still handle it, but we'll try, and I think we'll have a good time here today. I see a lot of nice faces, a lot of recognizable people. Let's get on with it.
All right, let's do it. And also we have our other brothers from another mother, from Montreal, Quebec. That's what we have. He's not a prediction. He's a spoiler. He likes to spoil shit around. And that's right. And that is Mr. Kyle, the spoiler Morin. Alongside with him, joining him is the prophecy himself. And that is the champ, the real champ, all right? That's Jeremy Prophet.
So honored to be here, you guys. Looking forward to having a good time.
That's right. Unfortunately, there's no Frank because he's working. He's on a boat.
We shipped him to OVW.
Spirit Squad style.
And also, we have our brother from the United Kingdom. He has the James Bond voice. He has the looks. He has the James Bond of all Bonds. And that is our brother James from that 90s wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me back again. Really enjoyed last time, so glad to be back and do some Rumble predictions. So looking forward to it.
Awesome, definitely. Now let's go ahead and welcome our other new brothers as joining us in this big round table here on the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. So I want to go ahead and introduce, and this is from UNYC, and that is our brothers, Mr. Eric, aka Big E, Diamond Cutter, and that is also Mr. Randy, a.k.a. the People's Champ. That is from Backstage Brawl podcast. How are you, gentlemen?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on, guys? Good to be here.
Our Burrow
What's
brother.
going on?
And also, glad you guys are joining us. We also have our other brother from Brooklyn, New York, and that is the Titantron himself. That's Mr. Anthony from the Titantron podcast.
It is time to turn your attention to Titantron. It is great to be here. I'm glad to join all of you today. I'm looking forward to talking. Let's do it.
All right. And also, we have from Queens, New York. They're the Fanatics. That's what they call themselves. They're the wrestling fanatics. That's why they're the ring fanatics. That is Nick and Joel. How are you?
What's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having us. Glad to be here.
Thank you for having us. Can't wait to just talk and just chop it up with you guys.
Exactly. Thank you.
And also, the last but not least, we see him for last, other native from Toronto, Canada. That's the man himself. What's drinking? What are you drinking there? Cognac or what is it? Or
Royal.
Crown Royal. That's right. That is Tyler from Counted Out Podcast. Welcome.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having us. On behalf of Mike, my co-host who couldn't join us, we're thrilled to be a part of this. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cheers. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is making history once again, and we're gonna make more history as as the year is ending, and then 2021. Hopefully, we deliver with a bang. So let's go ahead and start off with some talking shop, gentlemen. By far, I'm gonna ask our brothers, that is Kyle and Jeremy, what's been so far the best thing that's ever happened in 2020 in pro wrestling?
Best thing in wrestling in 2020.
I mean, I think in general, just the way that wrestling has adapted, given this new world that we're all living in. I mean, we've seen WWE start off, with the Performance Center empty, still trying to put on a show. We've seen AEW take the ball, run with it, innovate, be the first one to have people out there ringside, give us a different camera view, allow people back into their venue, and give us some semblance of the wrestling that we love and remember. So I think the evolution of wrestling, and now, even with the Thunderdome and everything else they've innovated, cinematic matches, we've seen the business evolve and maybe give us something that when things go back to the way they were, I should say, these new adaptations will now be included and give us a whole new form of professional wrestling that people can enjoy live and from the comfort of their homes.
Definitely.
There's a lot of New York in the building.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, there's a lot of NYC here. That's fantastic.
New York's in the building. These guys,
We're taking over here right now. We're taking over.
We gotta get a New York edition. I didn't realize there was this many New York in the building. We're gonna make that happen.
We could definitely set that up, man.
Speaking of that,
for sure.
We'll talk about that off air. We'll talk about it.
Us at the Backstage Brawl, we got some things cooking up, especially group podcasts like this. So definitely, we definitely do an NYC episode, man. Definitely.
Yeah. That's awesome for you guys. You guys all the NYC. We're the only ones here in Cali, which I even forgot to introduce ourselves. Yes, the Devious one, Ivan C, the host of the Circle Debate podcast, alongside with my brothers from another mother. That is the great American hero that he gives you the flexes and he's the man with the 12-inch pythons. That's the great American hero, Mike Lopez. And also I have Mr. MGC, Matthew Steamboat.
What's up,
and
guys?
also have the return, and we haven't seen a hiatus for 3 months, our other fellow brother, that is the reputation killer of all killers. That is Josh.
I've been in exile for 3 months, just like Goldberg was for 2 years. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been on shaking things up a bit. I've been watching a little bit here from there. But things about to get shaked up a little bit because I'm going to inject some poison in this motherfucker.
Let's go.
I missed
Love the promo that you just gave.
Things about to get a little bit darker here in Sunnyvale because I'm going to call it Chillville.
I love it. Oh, and this is my present to you guys. I've got Hiroshi Tanahashi and Matsui Jirina.
Fire.
That is fire.
There you go.
I just have my belt.
I just have my drink.
That's
all I have.
I'm good to go.
That's all I have. So, let me go ahead and ask you, Jonah. So, how do you feel about? And everybody who wants to answer, rebuttal what after what he says. How do you feel about this cross promotion going so far? Kenny Omega, being the AAA Mega Champion, AEW. We might see him being an Impact now. All these cross promotions in professional wrestling. How do you like it so far?
I really like it. As you said, a lot of people probably have opinions on this. I love it so far. I will say that I think Impact, the first week when they had the wrestling world really at the grasp of their fingertips, I think they dropped the ball on that first crossover episode. I personally didn't think that was a great episode of Impact. And I have been watching Impact too throughout this whole pandemic. And that one just didn't really – it seemed almost lesser than what I had been seeing, which really wasn't their greatest, obviously, but still – so I was disappointed in that. This past episode we just witnessed of Impact, though, the second crossover with Kenny, I enjoyed that. I think they picked it up a little bit. I think that, and especially with our guy James here.
Is that worth going and watching back, though? Because I missed it. I missed that.
Yeah, go watch it. Yeah, go watch it for sure.
I watched Taz and Kenny Omega not Taz. I watched what's his fucking name? Don Callis. I watched him and Kenny Omega getting a limousine, and then they said watch on Tuesdays, but I missed that.
That's the thing. They told everyone to watch, and then the show sucked. So it wasn't. It was kind of a letdown. Yeah. But it was a letdown. But the second week was good. I'm interested to see what other promotions they cross over with because Impact's got some good matches, but we've really been missing like this. So this match at Hard to Kill is going to be great. Rich Swann and MC Motor City Machine Guns, Good Brothers Omega. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That's like an actual crossover like match. Like that's what I thought they were going to do that first episode. I thought it was going to be almost like an invasion of sorts, and it just kind of fizzled out to this kind of watered down version where we're getting that one match, which is great. And I think we'll see where it goes from there. I'm looking forward to if they go to New Japan, if they branch out to other companies. And I think if there's some sort of alliance with these companies on that same level, we could see some great things happen for sure. And it'd be interesting to see how WWE responds to that too.
Bullet
Kind of
is taking over the wrestling world, man. They're everywhere.
I'm kind of surprised that NXT didn't do this crossover first before AEW did, because I feel like Impact
That's a
is more
good point.
open.
Yeah.
I feel like Impact is more open about talking about WWE in a non-negative way. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, might as well have them cross over.
Did
So,
y'all
yeah.
see where WWE might be open to working with other companies now?
They're not. It doesn't matter if it's Vince or if it's Triple H. I don't think they're going to do it unless it benefits them a lot. And by I mean a lot, like them taking all their talent in a few years.
But do you
and
see
that's not
them
gonna happen.
like working? Do you see them like trying to work with TNA in the future if AEW don't continue to work?
Triple H
with them?
Too much ego, man.
Yeah, Triple H would. Triple H
Triple H
would.
would.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That's the thing, because it's
I
all
don't
about
know.
Could you
politics at the end
imagine?
of the day.
Could you imagine this? TNA NXT Invasion War. That's
I mean, they have
money
Jeff
right
Jarrett.
there.
Because most of their guys are in
Impact.
Impact at the moment. Most of their former wrestlers are in Impact, so it's kind of like returning people instead of invasion. You know what I mean?
I think there's too much ego on the WWE side to do
So
that.
you're
too,
seeing
right?
the club, and you're seeing Brian Myers, and then Eric Young. It's like they were there already recently, so it doesn't make sense. It wouldn't call it a invasion to return
invasion.
And they were positioned so poorly while they were there too. It wouldn't be believable.
Right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, definitely.
What I like was,
I've been catching up on it too. I've been catching up on Sue Young's like alter ego gimmick or whatever the fuck she's doing, Susie or some shit.
Yeah.
what I liked was that this past Saturday at Triple Mania, even the commentators at AAA acknowledged what was going on with the Impact and AEW crossover going on with Kenny and his change of character. So, you know, good on them for allowing that. You know?
That makes me think, though, Mike. You got Impact, you got AAA, and you got AEW. I mean, could Cody like try to recreate the three World War III? Could he try to recreate World War III but with a different name?
It's in the works. It's in the works. It definitely is.
That's some
this
nice
new
to print money right there.
It is. This new thing that they got going on, Kenny being this whole new collector of belts now, kind of going. It's a good gimmick to have going. I call it the Cleaner 2.0 because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing essence of the Cleaner, but we're also seeing a brand new character with Kenny now being this collector of belts. Because we're going to get a Rich Swann and Kenny Omega match. That's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely going to happen. And I think what he's going to go after that is the NWA title, which I would love to see him and Nick Aldis tie up. That's going to be great.
It's not just AAA and Impact and AEW, because Impact has a partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah, and Pro Wrestling Noah is partnered up with DDT, and DDT is already partnered up with AEW. So you just added two more that come with Impact in that package, you know.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Could you see like nobody's fucking talking about him right now, but could you see like since Impact, AAA, and AEW's working together, could you see Ring of Honor and NXT or something like that working together?
Ring of Honor,
Yeah,
definitely.
Ring of Honor, yeah.
NXT, no.
Ring of Honor,
yeah,
definitely. Isn't Marty Skrull up there in the
That's what ties him in with AEW, I feel.
Marty Skrull and the boys in the league.
He's gone.
It might,
You know
show,
it
it might show up too.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the one thing, though, that you guys have to remember, that Ring of Honor has a relationship with New Japan and CMML. So now, remind you that AEW has a relationship with AAA. And also remember that CMML and AAA are two competitors in Mexico. They have to, in order for that to happen, to become in fruition, they have to set aside their differences and work together with AEW. That's going to be the major factor in reality.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, the old saying goes, you know, money talks. Bullshit walks.
Absolutely. No, I agree on that.
That's
you know,
right.
if the money is right, I think we could set aside this happen for wrestling history to happen. You know, if the money is right, I think it'll happen.
Yeah. But remember, there's always ego, especially in Mexico. You know, me being Mexican, okay? So, I mean, there's always that Mexican pride, you know, like, no, my shit's better than your shit. That, you know, that type of shit. So that's going to be the major factor within them two. I'm only talking about them two companies. other than Ring of Honor and New Japan, I don't know if they're willing to open to that. They should be, because that's like how you said it. It's money talks. Yes, 100%. I think they should jump. Go. Why not? Jump on it. Shit, that'll be the biggest crossover promotions in history we haven't seen in a long time. Since Rocket Era's Memphis, early 80s.
80s.
Like for the Crockett era. Very territory feel right now, like the old NWA days, right? It feels like Kenny Omega's kind of touring all over the place. He's got like the the old school NWA champion vibe. It'd be nice if they could all work together and get a system like that in place where they have a touring champion. That'd be fun to see.
Yeah. I think it helps. I think it helps professional wrestling as a whole if they do that. If they basically follow that lane, it's healthy because competition is healthy. For a lot of reasons, but collaboration is even better because now if you include all these other people, you put so much light on other wrestlers that are not being showcased in North America from different countries. And like you said before, Ivan, you were talking about how CMLL and AAA don't rock with each other. At the end of the day, it's all about bettering the business because now we've basically gotten to this field, this space now where everything is coming together in a certain way where everybody's rocking with one another and doing and working with each other. The better it is for them, the better it is for everybody. And so, hella high water, I would say Triple H over Vince would probably be more receptible to be open to basically, all right, you guys can come rock over, we could do a couple matches. Because there's evidence that supports the fact that Triple H has already done this with NXT.
Yes.
He's open enough to do that. Vince, on the other hand, I do not trust to do so. No. Triple H is a student of the game. They don't call him the game for a reason.
No pun intended.
He is legit the cerebral assassin. He studies these things. He studies the pulse of where things are going, which is why NXT is the way it is. Even now, obviously they have Evolve, but what they're doing with Evolve, they're trying to make they're trying to revive Evolve under a different name, obviously, because they went belly up recently because of the pandemic.
Yep.
And making it more like what the original NXT was prior to 2016.
Right.
They're trying to make sure that they have that freedom and have open relationships with other people. He's already doing it in the UK.
Yes.
He's having Kairi Sane as the ambassador in Japan. He's doing it in India. So he's having a territorial system within NXT, not WWE, within NXT.
There's also other companies on the network that are putting their content on there, like ICW, different stuff like that they're on the network. So there's definitely collaboration there.
And here's the thing: when he came out with the Capital Wrestling Center, the CWC, that was Vince's grandfather's promotion before Vince Senior took it.
Yeah,
it was. And when he first put that up, I'm like, Triple H is playing chess with Vince. He's basically moving his bishop or his rook to basically say, all right, like, I'm on to you.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost him.
He was
heard
him
get to the good stuff.
I was waiting for the good
He
stuff.
knows what's up. He's done.
Somebody has a WWE stooge on here.
Cliffhanger.
I don't know who it is, but just give it up.
Vince
Hopefully he
gets it
comes
out, man.
back. But James, I want to get your thoughts. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, like for someone who actually speaks to Impact Wrestling management like on a daily basis, I can tell you what's happening.
Flex from James.
Why is it took me time to get there? No, obviously I spoke to Don Callis the other night, and I can see like an invasion. The way he was, he was speaking in kayfabe, he was speaking in character when I was all night, and like I asked him like the invasion angle, was it something a possibility we could possibly see? And the way he was wording it, it was like, well, people thought you wouldn't see, Kenny Omega in Impact tagging up with the Good Brothers against Rich Swann and Motor City Machine Guns. The way he was wording it was like, yeah, something might happen. And I speak to the guys at Impact, Ross Foreman, Simon, and guys like
Robbie
that.
Shoulders with the ball.
Yeah.
It's something what's likely. And as for the Japan gigs, so they allowed Chris Bay, who's going to be a superstar next year. They allowed him to wrestle in the New Japan, the Super Juniors Cup, and they've just announced themselves that they're going to bring back the X Cup, TNA Super X Cup, and they haven't announced everyone who's going to be in it. But don't be surprised if you see someone from Japan or New Japan even might actually appear in that. And as for the NWA, they won't work with Impact for the simple fact is Billy Corgan hates Anthem, who owns Impact, because he got done dirty out of some money. So Billy Corgan won't work with Impact.
Oh yeah, that shit he
He will work with Ring of Honor because they had a relationship before the pandemic hit. They was doing the Pocket Cup. Matty Skell was coming over. Matty Skell's obviously left Ring of Honor since because of the alleged scandals.
He was still with them.
Nick Aldis, he is the champion, but Nick Aldis has all intentions of taking over the NWA in the end. Probably won't happen with Vince. Definitely won't happen with Bruce Pritchard because him and Nick Aldis hate each other. Well, it's more the fact that Bruce Pritchard hates Nick Aldis because Nick Aldis, Nick told me exactly why, and you can watch it on the interview. So while them two's there, we'll have him.
Plug. Watch your TV. Starting
I've let everyone speak. I've let everyone else speak for half an hour. I've let everyone else speak for half an hour, so I'm going to take me 5 minutes. But yeah. But yeah, when Triple H takes over, I reckon there will be more open up partnerships. But yeah, Impact Invasion to AEW is something that's possibly can happen. So. Just keep an eye out, but I'll tell you off camera.
all right. We'll do that definitely off the air. But yeah, go ahead, Randy. We're waiting for you. Like, what happened?
Yeah, man.
Vince heard it.
The Denny episode that we just filmed, just uploaded and it kicked me off for whatever reason. I was like, dang, I didn't realize what happened. So like, that episode just uploaded. But they pretty much summed up what I was trying to say. He basically just tied it in a bow. So everything that I wanted to say, he basically just said it. For the most part.
All right.
So I want to kind of make a comparison with the MCU, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where, you know, at the beginning they had Iron Man and Thor in separate movies, but, you know, they started kind of putting them together and it led all the way to Endgame and had all these, you know, superheroes all over the place. So that's kind of how I imagine it going. Probably it won't take 10 years like how it did with them, but something along the lines of that. And also like with the League of Extraordinary Podcasters, you know, we did the first episode and we had a good time with that, so we included more now, and you know, it's gonna keep growing. So
it's all about continuity at the end of the day.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's the most thing that every wrestling fan wants is continuity. As long as there's continuity and the storyline makes sense and we get what we want out of that. So as long as the continuity is there, I don't have a problem with it. That's just me personally. I don't know how the rest of the panel feels, but continuity and storylines definitely do matter in professional wrestling. People don't like the slow burn.
That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure.
People don't like the slow burn anymore. People like to get straight to the point. No,
you gotta plant. You gotta plant the seeds. You gotta plant the seeds week by week and build up the storyline.
Build up the story and get it to the apex.
I call it the microwave generation.
That's right.
The microwave generation.
That's a good
one. The microwave generation.
That's what I call it, because it's like, you know, like, pardon me for talking about food for a minute, but it's like you'd rather have something. You'd rather have something that you personally made and let it cook and simmer in the kitchen, rather than putting it into the microwave for a few minutes and just saying, well, here it is. It don't taste as good as you basically putting the ingredients, setting it up, seasoning it, putting it in the oven or on the stove, letting it simmer, letting it cook. And then when it comes out, you're able to basically have it and savor it a lot more. So when the story comes out and you let it grow from its inception, from its origin, then you're able to get the most out of that, the buildup and then the payoff. Nowadays, you get stories.
That's right. Like Evolution with Batista and Randy Orton, that built up for a long fucking time.
That was a long buildup.
That was a long
paid off in the end.
That was the seed. They planted the seeds for that like for years, and when it finally comes to fruition, and you got Randy Orton and Triple H's feud, and that's what made Randy Orton when he won that world title. And then you got Batista and Triple H at WrestleMania when Batista turned down that SmackDown contract. He said, "I'm coming for your ass." You know what I'm saying? That seeds like that is what's missing nowadays. You got to plant seeds if you want to grow a little something that's going to get a little high. If you know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Because like even look at this, like. On for the Backstage Bro, we've been praising the Tribal Chief over the last few months as his return. But seriously, if you look at Roman's situation, you know, since he just came back, there has been long-term story booking with Roman, and dating back to the snowstorm of 2015 when he was in WWE headquarters cutting probably at the time his best promo against Brock Lesnar going into WrestleMania 31. 5 years later, Heyman always sprinkled the seeds saying, I've always respected your father and your uncle. I admire the Samoan dynasty, Rikishi, The Rock.
That's right. I remember that.
Dynasty. Every step along the way, 2018 when they were in New Orleans again for the second round when they did the WrestleMania in New Orleans, he sprinkled it again saying, I respect you. I respect your family, your lineage. I believe you're the next one. Flashback to this past August. SummerSlam, what the tagline is, you'll never see it coming. Roman came back, and you have, and then that following SmackDown, Paul Heyman was right there. I'm like, who else but Paul? You can't sell the tribal chief now without a Paul Heyman because he sprinkled in those seeds for the entire time.
When we did the first circle of debates, we all went through who our current favorite is right now, and I said Roman Reigns.
Yes.
And everybody here fucking booed me for it.
I still boo you for it, Kyle. Kyle, still boo you for it.
What's that?
Was this during Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was for the Thanksgiving episode.
I think we would have been.
You can have the last laugh now.
Say we would have been with you.
You can have the last laugh.
You're damn right I did.
Well, no, that's why you're the spoiler, because you spoiled it. I mean, yeah, you get the last laugh. Well, I mean,
I'll continue.
No, go ahead.
No, because like me, E, and of course our crew here at the Backstage Bro, we was basically, because we do fantasy booking. That's our big thing. We like the fantasy book. And I know the theme of today is more so the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
I don't want to give him too much because as everybody else, because I want to see everybody else's predictions and ideas for the Rumble. But we had an idea, and it does include Paul Heyman, sprinkling some long-term booking as one of the topic of long-term booking. And with this idea, that's the idea that I had to be sold on because I'm a huge fan of The Rock, which is why I have this title to begin with. So, but as much as I want that money match, I had to basically like really, really listen to the other alternative and to be sold on it. And after a while, it crept in. I'm like, damn it, that also makes sense too. It's long-term booking. If WWE goes for this, because the thing about it is, ever since Roman came back, elements of storytelling came back, which has completely been lost in WWE for a long time. It's basically, here's the match, here's the finish, and then it's just bland. There's no story behind it.
That's also thanks to the pandemic, because, I mean, if there would have been a live crowd, would you have been able to hear half of the shit talking that Roman does? Like, even Randy Orton in the ring, you wouldn't be able to hear him over the crowd. And that adds another layer and another element into the match. The fact that you can hear these guys speak. And that's the beauty in disguise with this whole pandemic and them not having an actual crowd.
Agreed.
So you're not listening to the audience, you're listening to them mainly. It's like you actually hear them instead of hearing the chants and shit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not about the loudest guy in the room. You have to make them listen to you. And Jake the Snake was a master at controlling the crowd and getting them to do
Absolutely.
that. So I kind of disagree with that, but I get what you're saying.
That's why it's a debate. That's why it's a debate.
Quick question, Jeremy. Do you see Roman like in his promos, like not to basically just shed a light on him, but seriously, in his promos recently, do you start to see him? He's not yelling in his promos. He's doing the slow, sauntering type of. Every word matters. Like Randy Orton is a student. I would call him like Jake Jr. in a sense, in terms of how his approach to doing promos is. Like, he doesn't yell like most people would to get you riled up. He's very slow sauntering, makes you believe every word matters in terms of what's coming to you, in terms of what the match is and what the payoff is. Do you think that Roman has barred an element from Jake in his recent promos as a tribal chief?
I think that Roman just became better as an overall actor, and whether they taught him that on Fast and the Furious or he just, something clicked sitting at home watching guys trying to do the job but not being able to get it done on the mic, which has for the longest time been a problem in WWE, whether you want to blame it on the scripted promos or guys just wanting to play it safe. We haven't seen that Attitude Era level mic work coming out of talent. And, and take it from a guy who's made a pretty good dollar in the business by being good on a microphone. You just don't see that believability and attitude anymore. You don't see guys that can rock the mic in wrestling, like, say, guys in hip hop or, guys in Hollywood or even guys in the UFC.
That's because they won't let them go out there without a fucking script like AEW, man.
Well,
you gotta
the
let
thing
them
is,
go out there and say,
with all due respect to that,
give them the bullet points and let them go out there.
It's not necessarily the problem, because you have some people that if they don't have the script, they're going to fail even worse if they're left to their own devices. So some people, you got to rein them in. You got to put them on a script to be able to carry them to a level that's acceptable on TV. That's why actors and shows have scripts and have directors
with all
that can.
due respect to that, that's why in the attitude there, you sank or you swam.
And that, I believe, is how it should
Survival of the fittest. If you
But
can't cut a
unfortunately-
fucking promo, then hit the bricks, bro.
Unfortunately,
You know what
you get
I'm saying?
guys
Hit
who
the
get
bricks, you
contracts
can't hit a
for
promo.
other reasons, and they don't have the tools to entertain a crowd, whether through the television or sitting in the front row, through their speaking ability. I think that should be a qualifying criteria, but unfortunately it's not. In this day and age, sometimes your technical skill or your appearance is more important than being able to have the ability to connect with that person. Nonetheless, I think with
100%.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of
Yeah.
old school fans that want to see somebody raise some hell like Stone Cold did, like The Rock did. You know what I'm saying?
If there was no like Rock, you wouldn't have a Roman. You wouldn't have the storyline. If there was no like Run DMC, you wouldn't have the Drakes and this, that, and the other. So I think you have to like look at the past. It's like, yeah, the past is the past now, but now we have this new shit that's going on. Everybody just can't keep looking at the past. You know what I mean? Like, we have Drakes, we have Little Yachty's. These guys are making music now. Like, we have Romans, we have Austin Aries and whoever the fuck else is wrestling right now. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Omega. We have these guys. We can't keep looking. We have Moxley. We can't keep looking at the past.
Yep.
You know? Like, the past is the past. You gotta like what's now.
You talked about either like weak promos or strong promos. There's usually when a weak promo comes along, somebody who isn't as good with promos, they usually pair him up with a manager, and that was like the old way. And then WWE, we don't see as many managers. I've heard people like not really like I like Kenny Omega's promos, but a lot of people they say it's not their cup of tea for some other people. But then again, Don Callis, like when he bared it with Kenny Omega, he's trying to emulate the whole Nick Bockwinkel and Bobby Heenan, and they were both great at promos, both of them. So you could have a manager and have a manager who's better at it paired with somebody who's kind of okay at it, and then have them build up to being just amazing at it. So that's always the option, pair them with somebody good and have them learn from them.
But with all due respect, another option to that could also be just put someone in that position that can get it done on the mic, rather than giving them the crutch of a manager.
Yeah,
agreed.
I often tell myself sometimes, like, Brock, as great as Brock Lesnar is in the ring, he wouldn't be Brock Lesnar the Beast without Paul Heyman talking for him every single time. Without him, he would just be like a guy beating people up and no one talking.
Which is kind of what he was before they brought Heyman back into the picture when Brock came back in 2012.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, another thing I want to actually add with this 2020, before we jump into the Royal Rumble predictions, I just want to go ahead and say that 2020 this year has been for the women's in all around in the independent circuit. A lot of them from NWA, from AEW, from NXT, from Impact. You have to give kudos to the women, what they have done by far this whole 2020. And I love every individual one of them. They produce phenomenal matches in their territories individually, So I want to ask Nick and Joel this. So how do you feel about the women's, division overall, like throughout this whole year of 2020?
I think they, like you said, pretty much put. I feel like, in my opinion, they put 2020 on their backs. I loved almost every single women's match, NXT, Impact, more than it did the men's in main roster or something. I just really kudos to them. Put my hats off to them. I really loved every single match, and majority of the women's matches that were put on in various different companies.
Definitely, I agree. I think the women did a great job this year. Of course, there's little problems that everybody has with booking and all that, Like, I would love to see Shayna as the face of the company at the moment. I don't know how she's not.
They fucked her up on there. That's all I'm saying. They fucked up on there.
Because Nia Jax needs a partner. What can we say, guys? Nia needs a partner.
Don't even bring up Nia Jax. Don't even bring her up.
If you want,
I'm sorry, guys.
If you want to hear a Nia Jax rant, go listen to our podcast. He does that weekly, almost every single week.
Oh man.
Go listen.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, especially like we just talked about this on latest episode about them sending people down and improving themselves. She's one of the people that you can send down to improve. Like, you don't have to take her off TV, but at least get her improved, like the way that, like, I feel like she's kind of just running people out the company, hurting them.
She's
you know what I mean? Like,
of the women's division.
She's gotten more to take her off TV, but they could though.
Yeah,
she's gotten more people injured than championships.
I'm gonna say this though. Yes, definitely all the women have been, across all territories, have been killing it. They've been putting on championship matches, regular matches, one-on-ones, two-on-twos, you name it, they've been doing it. But I will say this, and I'm going to take this from Sir Wilkins of the Jobber Tears podcast. Definitely WWE has the most marketable women's division. I'm going to put that out there. Whether or not anyone agrees or disagrees, I believe they have the most marketable women's division because not outside of the four horsewomen.
Does that include NXT?
Yeah.
Yes, including
yeah.
Including
NXT is ridiculous.
I would never not leave out NXT women's division. They're probably a little bit better than the main roster in my opinion.
No, they're definitely better.
Yeah, Joel said this in I think the last episode where like you could literally call out like 3 to 4 women from NXT to the main roster, and you'll still have a stacked women's division. I'm just saying hypothetically, if they would, if they would. I'm not saying they would.
Leave Rhea Ripley off the main roster. Leave her away from Vince.
Strictly,
NXT.
She'll be like somewhere else before.
I gotta say, you guys should keep an eye out for this woman, Maki Ito. She to me, she's going to be like the MJF of like, if you take MJF and like Hikaru Shida or any of the Joshi wrestlers, she's really amazing on the mic, and she cuts some very like insane funny promos. You know, she actually just dropped her title to Thunder Rosa in Japan recently. So Thunder Rosa has the TJPW title at the moment.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that woman's great, but the woman next to her is who I'm looking at right now is probably one of the top women MVPs of this year.
Yeah.
Just the type of shit that she's done across all different promotions. It's, I don't know if she's the top woman this year, but she's definitely in that top 3, top 5 range.
It's why this match is very worthwhile to watch, though. It's hard to watch. It's hard to find it, but you could possibly find it on like a Chinese streaming app or something, because this was over in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling when Thunder Rosa was up against Maki Ito, and of course Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling is a subsidiary of DDT, and it's and we've already seen some of TJPW's talent on AEW, so it's highly likely we might see Maki Ito pretty soon. The funny thing is, there's kind of like this Twitter thing going on with Maki Ito and Lance Archer of all people. So who knows what the plan for her in the future is.
It's funny you bring up Lance Archer, because I'm just gonna go off screen here. I don't really know if Lance Archer is a face, a heel, or a tweener.
Face right now to me, I get pretty much.
Face right now to you, I couldn't place him anywhere.
Now he's feuding with Pac, and it's like,
that's where he's at.
Yeah, but remind you one thing, that in AEW there's no such thing as heel or face.
I was gonna say, you could honestly make the argument that everyone in AEW is a face, and that's what I really don't like about it, is that you don't have your set. Like, of course, MJF and Jericho, they are the heels, but everyone, sings the Judas, everyone cheers for MJF. It's like no one's like a set heel in that company.
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara,
yeah.
That is true, but I feel like,
Kip Sabian and what's his name?
Miro,
yeah. Those are all heels to me.
Amber Rose and Vicky Guerrero.
But you know what it is, though? It's the one thing that WWE does has a really good job at doing. It's having a mega babyface versus a mega heel, and that gets you invested. And I think that's where AEW drops the ball, kind of. There is no, since you're not really generalizing heels and faces. You're just putting two guys up against each other because of their popularity or because of, you know, their ranking, how they have the rank system, how they're ranking. So the one thing that, the one thing that WWE does really well is putting a mega face and a mega heel against each other. Like, well, that's the one thing that we love.
Okay, agreed on that, but see, remind you one thing as well, that AEW tells storytelling in the ring, which is why they always put two different individuals. Yeah, based on the popularity, that's understanding. You're right about that. But there's not a story builder. It's not like they're not building a story throughout that match. They're building a story within the ring, and then that's how the storytelling it is. You know, WWE, obviously they build up the story. They take weeks for them to go ahead and do it, and then when it happens, there's a difference to it. It's, you can tell
even
the story
even going back
in the
to
ring.
Can I ask a question?
Back to the. Go ahead, bro.
All right. All for wrestling. All right. Since this is a Christmas episode, last episode of the year, whatever. Let me ask a question. What's the best thing that's happened since we've been doing this podcast this year? You know, that's a logical question to ask. You know what I mean?
On our respected shows, or just
this is on a respected shows or whatever. Like, what's like for your podcast? For us, it's been that independent guys have been home. You know, all the independent wrestlers have been home, so we pretty much get all the independent wrestlers.
Like me. It's a smart strategy, yeah.
Yeah, we get all the independent wrestling interviews. So that's pretty much been the good thing that's happened with us. And then we met you guys. Circle
yeah,
I
was gonna say too. That's what I was gonna say too. I was gonna say having this platform. Having this platform and meeting everybody here, you know, some for the first time, some that we converse with on a regular basis. Having this platform and meeting new people and branching out and building the brand that we have, our respected brands, I think that's one of the things that I enjoyed most about this year. I mean, Backstage Brawl, we've only been doing this now for almost 8 months. And, you know, for the most part, people I've met, you know, personally or talked through inbox, you know, I feel like I've known you guys for years. So it's like, it's nothing to come on here and just talk wrestling with you guys or, you know, talk whatever. It doesn't really matter. So the one thing that I took from this year was, you know, the growth and definitely building the relationships and friendships that we have here.
Definitely agree.
To piggyback on my tag team partner real quick. When we first started Backstage Brawl, like this was like 7 years ago, and I picked this shit up like a hobby. I'm sorry for cursing. But like I picked this up.
TVMA, bro. TVMA, bro.
Attitude.
No. Respect, Ivan. This is your thing, so I wanted to be respectful.
I fucking curse too. I don't give a shit.
Dude, you even watch our show?
There you go.
Yeah, do my jobs too.
It's the Caribbean in me. It's the respect Caribbean in me. So
it is.
I'm
not gonna throw a shoe at you. You'll be fine.
He gave me PTSD, man.
No, but seriously, when we started this like 7 years ago on Facebook, with our strongest following on Facebook, you know, I never thought, because when we first started it, I started it because one of my boys did it. Like, I call him our pod father because he does his own thing with sports and other stuff that he's been able to do as well. And I thought like someone like us could, like, especially, you know, guys like us, you know, are not known to do something like this. And then when I see people like Ivan, when I see people like Kofi Weedston, or even, you know, Jofo in the ring, who's international, you know, in Canada, obviously, you know, doing things that talk about wrestling and be free, open enough to talk about it the way we do, it is great. And when we started this, and this is another reason why the pandemic was a blessing in disguise for us, is because, you know, I always thought that when you do a podcast, you got to be in a set studio doing this and the third. And we had no equipment. You know, I wasn't working at the time. You know, I was going through, I'm in grad school right now. So, like, I'm doing this and everything else. I teach on the side as well. So, I'm burning both ends of the candle, literally. So, it's like, when we was doing it, when we first started, obviously we made our mistakes and whatnot. I just saw it as something that it just grew something crazy. And then, of course, now knowing you, Circle Debate, Anthony at the TITANTRON podcast, Jonah, who I became, you know, who I've started to know really, really well by watching him and observing how his presentation is and seeing, picking certain things that you guys do, like the Dirty Heels or Jofo in the ring, James, what he does, picking certain things that you guys do and seeing and observing. Like like Triple H, I'm kind of like the student of the game. I like to see and view and pick apart certain things and to see how we can do it, you know, better or for us, you know, just for our certain situation and just have fun. Because at the end of the day, you know, we're all here just talking wrestling. We're all here talking shop. We're talking shit. We're just enjoying ourselves and having a great time about it. You know, like we don't want to be like the Brian Alvarez's of the world, the Ryan Satins of the world.
Don't even bring them up.
No, I know.
Was going wild.
Wait.
I saw you live. I saw you live. I know.
That's a -5 stars right there for you.
If you see my episodes, ask Mike, ask Matt, ask Josh.
I know. I saw you live. I saw you live with Anthony when he talked about it.
Yeah.
That's a -5 star comment for you right there.
Listen, Randy, you're gonna get us kicked off of here, man.
He blocked me on Twitter anyways. He blocked me on Twitter.
I like the fact that it's a community that, like, there's no ego. We're all able to, like, enjoy each other's company and talk and make new friends, especially during a global pandemic. So it's been a blessing in disguise, and I love what we're doing. And 2021 and beyond, this is going to be bigger and better. So I love what we're doing. And
it's gonna be bigger and better, yes. And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I was good. Oh yeah, you good. Let me just say something real fast. Hold on, I was gonna bounce off that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I said this before. I say this all the time that I think wrestling fans are like the greatest fans in the world because you could just. I've been to so many events that I've been online for 3, 4, 5 hours waiting to meet somebody or going in, and you can make so many relationships just in like 5 minutes. With any wrestling fan, I think so. No matter what your opinion on the sport is. You're going to have something in common. You're going to have fun talking about it, and you're going to make connections. And so, like everyone's saying, with the pandemic being a blessing in disguise for this, I agree. I only started this about 6 months ago, and I had no clue how to reach out to these wrestlers. I had so many different experiences. First I called bookers, which was a horrible idea, and then I just started doing it myself and meeting all you guys. And just to go off my point, I really do think wrestling fans are the greatest fans because we connected like that. Whether it was virtual or it would have been the same in person, I'm sure, but it's been a really fun experience, and I know that I've talked to each of you guys before, at least once. I think Nick actually won one of my giveaways once, even. So this is a.
I wanted that Undertaker toy. No,
I signed up for that
I got the Eugene signed autograph.
Who said that?
Yeah. No, I got the Eugene.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought somebody else did. Anyway, yeah. So this is a great group of guys, and I can't wait to do this going forward. So.
And I always tell Jonah, like, he has that announcer voice. Every time I watch this stuff, like, I can just close my eyes and just like he's really, really good at this. Like, it's like I'm watching something on TV. And like,
I really appreciate that. Likewise to you guys. It's so easy to listen to. All you guys have that in common. I mean, maybe a prerequisite is actually liking wrestling, but as long as you like wrestling, all you guys are so easy to just turn on and listen to, absorb what you guys are saying. It's awesome content all around.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate
the one thing I want to say this. Obviously, I said it in the last one. It's just that we all provide different content for our viewers, for our subscribers, very differently, and then myself as a fan, and obviously speaking for my brothers, we love everybody's content. I love Kyle. I love Frank. I love Kofi. I love Brother Bovan. I mean, James, Jonah, like they were my first ones that I met and like really.
Yeah, same.
And then when I met Nick, and when I met Anthony, and they just like knocked it off the park, especially with you, with Randy, Eric, like. I love it. I mean, I love the fact that everyone is doing different content. There's no such thing here as competition. There's no such thing here of egotistic or none of that. We're here to support each other and, provide each other's, provide each other love, support, and help each other grow. We're not here to compete. There's no such thing as competition here. We're not here with ego. We're here to.
Damn sure. That's for damn sure.
And
for everybody to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's enough on the table for everybody to eat.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it don't matter to me. Everybody gonna eat.
Yeah. That's right.
Everyone's got a plate.
All right, so let's go ahead.
No one's head of the table. No one's head of the table here.
Nobody
head of the table here.
Everyone is here at the head of the table.
Everyone here is the head.
Everybody's at one head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone here is cool. Okay.
Exactly.
Big table. No.
All right, so I want to go ahead and start off now with the Royal Rumble picks, the prediction. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Tyler. So Tyler, who do you pick? And men's and women's.
the men's and women's. So I'll start with the men's. I've got a pick for my heart that I want to see, just because I'm a mark for the guy, and I think it'd be a great match. And then I got a pick that I hope happens as well. So the one that I hope happens is I hope we see The Rock come back. I'd like to see The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I think that's the marquee. That's the big money match. If The Rock doesn't come back, though, the guy that I'd like to see in there with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I'd like to give him Daniel Bryan. I know a lot of people, whatever, but they've had a great rivalry in the past. They had a great match at Fastlane a few years ago. Daniel Bryan's always over. He's going to deliver in the ring. I'm just a big mark for the guys, so I think Daniel Bryan would be my from the heart pick.
All right, what about the women's?
Oh, okay, yeah.
The women's side, I think it's going to be Charlotte. I think that's I think maybe the obvious choice is not what I want to see. I'd like to see them get behind somebody. Maybe, I don't know if it's too soon for Bianca Belair, but I think she's ready for it. I just don't know if they've given her enough screen time. I'm all about the NXT women too, so give me Io Shirai every day of the week, but I think they're going to pull the trigger with Charlotte.
Okay, I love that. I mean, yeah, I agree with you with the Bianca one too. Yeah, but we could go. That's off subject. But yeah, now let's go ahead and move on with Mr. Anthony. Who's your pick?
All right. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I have two sets of predictions similar to Tyler. It's predictions that I want to see and predictions that I think at this stage the company is going to go with. So if I want to start off positive, stuff that I want to see for the men's, I think it's got to be Keith Lee. He's just that guy that, there are a lot of people saying that he's buried, he's this, that, the other thing. I think at this point, if the company just wants to shut up the fans already and give them what they want, give the people what they want, if you will.
That's right.
You got to go ahead and just give him the Royal Rumble. Let him fight. We're hearing about the Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar triple threat match. I would love to see that, a 15-minute match between those guys. Give me what I want. So I think I'll go with that for Keith Lee, for the men's, for what I want to see. For the women's, I'm actually going to throw out a wild card, and I don't think a lot of people have been talking about her because she hasn't been there for a while. I'm going to go with Sonya Deville, and she's going to return. She's going to win the Rumble match, because if you think about it, Raw really needs some women right now, unless you want to put Nia Jax in a WrestleMania match. I don't think they want to do that.
Don't say that. Don't say that, man. Don't
say that.
I don't want. Don't say that, man. I don't say that.
I think Sonya has built up enough interest with her match against Mandy Rose and that whole thing to warrant her a spot, at least to, maybe be in the top 3. It would be a big return for her. So now that's who I want. When we're talking about what I think is going to happen, now, y'all are going to hate me for this. So let's start off with the men's.
Is this what you told us in our episode?
That's what I said.
Get prepared for what he's going to say.
Yeah, you got to get prepared for this one because you're going to hate me. So
make sure, because I got to get another beer, so make sure.
Fill up, boys. Fill up.
All right, go ahead.
I got to go with Goldberg because if we're still going in that route and The Rock's, if he's busy that weekend playing with Kevin Hart, then I think we're going to go with Goldberg.
I'm getting a beer. I'll be back.
No. You're going to want another one with this one. Ready? The women's. So we're talking about the women's here. And there was a rumor that they wanted to do something, a new finish to the Rumble that they hadn't done before. And no one really knows what it is. But here's what I think that if they would go with this way, this is what they would do.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's say you have Charlotte and, I don't know, Rhea Ripley in the ring. They're going at it. They throw each other over the top rope, so there's no one in the ring. However, there's still one more entrant that needs to come out. That's number 30. And the clock goes down. You hear the buzzer. And who returns but a recently injured woman on the Raw roster? You hear the saxophone.
Fuck you.
No. Thank you. Okay, yeah.
I told you.
Royal Rumble.
It's awful because I can see it happening too.
Yeah, I can see it happening. That's the bad part.
It's not far-fetched.
It absolutely would.
They made Otis,
especially if they book her as a face.
They
made Otis Money in the Bank. Of course, they're gonna do this.
Honestly, they could go ahead, and that's why I think if they do it with no fans, that's an even more of a reason, because who's going to boo? They're going to pipe in as many cheers as they can for Goldberg.
I'm going to break my computer if that happens.
Yeah, me too. But I hope.
But Anthony, Anthony, I got to kind of poke some holes at your Goldberg theory. Although I think that they do want to go with Goldberg and Roman, I don't see it being through the Rumble because from what I know, Goldberg's contract is, I think, for only 2 matches per year. of which they would waste one on the Rumble and then on Mania. But I think everyone here knows Goldberg wants that Saudi money. So I don't think he would pass that up. So the idea of him doing
hell
good
no.
That's a very good point.
There's a euphemism that we at the Backstage Brawl use when it comes to certain things like this. You know, I borrowed it from primetime Deion Sanders. So when it comes to Goldberg, William by trade, there's a euphemism that I would like to say when it comes to him winning the Royal Rumble. Ain't nobody care. Ain't nobody care about Bill Goldberg. I ain't trying to see it. I'm not trying to see it. I don't want it.
No.
Hell no.
Goldberg ain't winning the Royal Rumble. Oh, y'all smoking, man. Y'all need to smoke some different shit because Bill Goldberg ain't winning the Royal Rumble. Ain't no way.
I'm gonna go
Ain't no
and say
chance in hell.
Hey, I didn't think Goldberg would beat the Fiend, but here we
that,
are.
that definitely happened.
power of politics.
Yeah, Jesus
that definitely did happen in Saudi.
Oh, I forgot, ladies and gentlemen.
Like Goldberg kept his old WCW contract in WWE.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? That's what it was.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna since
Oh, is that a new
I'm gonna
guy?
go off
Really
and say
popular, selling a lot of
prediction.
money? I'm gonna crush him.
I'm gonna take his money.
I'm gonna say my prediction for this, and I'm gonna be the only one here to think outside the box here. This is too much thinking on WWE creative, but nobody mentioned an NXT guy, so I'm gonna go with the route, and everybody thinks somebody's gonna go for the Universal title. No, I'm gonna go Adam Cole to win, and not only that, for him to go against Drew McIntyre. So I think there's a lot of continuity there. They never had a match for the NXT
I know Frank
title.
would love that.
He tore his bicep.
Yeah, he tore his bicep. So that's something that can happen. My dark horse pick, if he can get off the commentary booth, would be Samoa Joe.
That was my pick.
And Roman Reigns.
I was gonna say that.
That'd be good if they built that like the
There's a reason.
have him come in
But
from the
hold on. So I'm gonna.
I was gonna say that.
I'm gonna paint you guys the picture. though. I'm gonna paint you guys the picture.
Tag me in.
This is what this. No, I got you, bro. I got you.
Tag him in, man.
This is what basically Randy was gonna say. You book it as the Samoan bastard, the exiled of the Samoan dynasty. You know what I mean? You book it like that. Remember, Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar had a match, and Samoa Joe was the only one that took out Brock Lesnar like it was nothing. He wasn't scared of him. There's continuity there. Him and Paul Heyman have history. So all three men, and then on top of that, him and Roman. I mean, for the most part, Samoa Joe has had Roman's number. So that would make sense in that storyline. You have, the mega heel and the face that everyone's going to get behind. And whether it's face or heel, everyone's going to root for Samoa Joe. So it doesn't really matter.
And he's the only Samoan in WWE not at Roman's table.
Exactly.
I like
now,
Samoa Joe. Can you imagine the promos though? Because
The
Samoa
promos
Joe
is gonna
on the
be
mic is a wordsmith. Like his best promo to me is when he ethered everybody in the ring.
He gonna
AJ,
make
Jeff
a
Hardy,
hell of a manager
Orton.
one day.
Like
So those are my two men's picks. My dark horse pick and my main pick, which is an NXT guy, would be Adam Cole. Now, I did have Big E picked at one point in time, but I see where they're going with him now. As far as the women's go, I'm gonna be the one to say it. I'm gonna go Bianca Belair. I think her and Sasha Banks would have a really great really great program. I think they would have a really great program for the SmackDown Women's title. They pretty much mirror each other. They pretty much mirror each other. They're the same person if you really look at it.
I agree with you 100% on that. And I want to add that also I think WWE would really capitalize on having a black female versus a black female for the women's title, especially with the year we just had.
Oh, yeah.
100% agree with that. Yeah,
There's been a lot of representation. Black on black crime, but there's been a lot of representation.
It's okay. I'll bring him up to speed.
So yeah, Bianca. Okay.
Yeah, I got Adam Cole, Bianca Belair.
Okay, I love that. All right. Go ahead, Randy. We tagged you in.
Go ahead.
Nah, he basically just took my Samoa Joe thing. That's all good. One of my I'll start with the females. I'll basically add along. I think Bianca Belair would be the Royal Rumble winner. I do think her and Sasha would have an excellent program, but with a twist. Before Belair came up, she had an issue with Charlotte. If anyone remembers, when Charlotte came to NXT to face off against Rhea Ripley, who was next in line to beat Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship? It was Bianca Belair. If you want continuity, if Charlotte does come back, she will probably be the final 3 in the match. Now, she won't be the last one thrown over. It'll probably be like a fodder, like Natalya will probably be the one to take the fall for Bianca to go over. So she'll probably be the final 3. Charlotte comes back in a surprise return. They face off. They look at each other. It's, you know, and with Charlotte not paying attention, Natalya throws her over, and then Natalya throws Charlotte over, and then looks back at Bianca like, you know, like I'm coming after you, very subtly. And then Bianca ends up basically throwing off Natalya, becoming the winner. And everybody's thinking that it's going to be her versus Sasha. But because of continuity, it's probably going to be her and Charlotte. If she beats Asuka before Mania for the Raw Women's Championship, she'll jump to Raw, face off against Charlotte, and then WrestleMania will be Charlotte versus Bianca Belair getting back what she should have had in NXT. If I had to choose, but either way, I think Bianca Belair is going to win. Whatever road they choose, I do think Bianca Belair is going to be the winner no matter what, fantasy or not. As for the men, though, I do think that it's been quiet for Keith Lee lately, but I do think that Keith Lee may be the one to overtake 29 other men and throw them over the top rope to face Drew McIntyre, only for the purpose because of this. You don't bring Keith Lee up from NXT when he was perfectly fine with 2 belts, not to put him in the position that he is in to face off against Drew McIntyre. The continuity, the story is there. You know, when it comes to the fact that when he first came in, him and Drew been buddy, the NXT this and the third. Randy Orton was basically the fodder in the situation, which basically took the title from Drew, you know, in the middle of it, and then Keith Lee became miscast up until now. But no one's going to see that coming. With Keith Lee coming in, you saw what he did to Brock Lesnar last year. Brock Lesnar said he's a big boy. You know, they look eye to eye. He's a big boy. He can do a lot. So with Keith Lee having some form of his identity back with a new theme, thank God, we can finally truly see how limitless Keith Lee can be on the road to WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be someone from SmackDown. It's probably going to be, again, if they do go with the money match with Goldberg, it's not going to be a SmackDown person. That's just me thinking logically, which is why I have Keith Lee. Now, thinking with my heart, I'd rather have Samoa Joe for the reason why my tag team partner, Eric, said. But if it is from SmackDown, I would go Daniel Bryan, like Tyler said. And here's why. 2015, everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to recreate WrestleMania from the previous year. 2015, Daniel Bryan was coming in with a lot of injuries, of course, towards his neck, and of course, the concussion situation. Everybody wanted Daniel Bryan to come up 30 in the Royal Rumble, but instead it was Rey Mysterio, and the crowd booed the shit out of him.
We remember that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then for damn sure. That's for damn sure.
I think that was 2014.
It got so bad that The Rock had to come out and basically save face, and he just couldn't do it. To save Roman when he eliminated Rusev to become the winner of the Royal Rumble that year.
Yeah, that was 2014, I think. Yeah.
2015 he was in, but he just got thrown out by
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was 2014.
And then fascinating, they have an incredible match. Roman, in the back of his mind, is like, listen, man, you know, as a tribal chief, back in the day, they still don't like me. They still don't respect the tribal chief. They don't respect me. They don't respect my family, my dynasty. They keep echoing your name. Why is that? I became the Royal Rumble winner in 2015. I went to WrestleMania. Huh?
I thought this was Royal Rumble predictions.
No. But this is basically it for Daniel Bryan.
Bryan wins.
You know,
and then Bryan wins. Like Bryan wins, and Roman's just like, well, I just got through Kevin Owens again, it's in the third, so I gotta face you. And then that storyline goes in, and it's been a while since Daniel Bryan has had that WrestleMania feel, and he's going out soon, and he's already alluded to the fact that he's starting to wind down in age. He has his wife, he has his daughter, and his newborn son. So he's gonna start winding down and start putting up people like Drew Gulak like he did earlier this year. Had a great match this past WrestleMania with Sami Zayn as Intercontinental Champion. I don't think Big E's gonna win it for the sole purpose he's gonna go for the Intercontinental Championship. So if it's gonna be SmackDown, why not Bryan? So that's basically the other pick. If it's gonna be SmackDown, is Daniel Bryan. The logical choice is going to be Keith Lee from Raw.
And you get a good match if it's Daniel Bryan too. The guy's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah,
he's one of the best.
It'd be a great match. Yeah.
One of the best.
Let me hop in with my predictions. First off, what I wanted to say is I love that we're actually like none of us really know, because some years you're going into the Rumble and like you could pick, but you kind of in the back of your mind you know who it's going to be. I think a lot of guys are in great spots right now. You look at like Big E, Keith Lee, Daniel Bryan. They're in the spots that like you really don't know. It's like I like the mystery part. That's why Rumble is my favorite event, is the mystery, and I think that's been lost for some years. So seeing this makes me very happy. I think that if it's not, I think they could do The Rock just like they could do Goldberg without the Rumble. They could just come in, attack. No, I agree. I think the Goldberg match, if the Goldberg match happens, it's not going to be a Rumble scenario. That's just my opinion. I think that if they don't go Rock, it's going to be Daniel Bryan, like you were saying, because what you just told it perfectly. If Bryan wins, I mean, the sole purpose of why Reigns really didn't get over in that time period, among other things, but the big reason was that he just wasn't Daniel Bryan, and that's what everybody wanted. So he could totally play off that. And as we were saying earlier, that's planting the seeds. That's the long storytelling and continuity, and it makes sense, which is what wrestling fans crave. So that's men's. And if it's not Daniel Bryan, because I really don't think we're seeing Rock or Goldberg. I hope I'm not wrong. I don't think we're seeing Goldberg in the Rumble. But my two picks would be Daniel Bryan, number one, and number two would be Big E, because I really do think that Big E's at that point. I don't know how many of you saw the promo Heyman cut with him on Talking Smack.
Beautiful.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
Talking Smack is a gem.
Yeah, it really is, especially with Heyman on it. Like that's one of my favorite segments. But so yeah, seeing the promo he cut, like it gave me even more faith. I thought Big E was in that kind of spot where he's not like, he doesn't have a bunch of momentum behind him, but he has just enough. He reminds me of that spot McIntyre was in last year around this time period. McIntyre, I think, was a little bit higher, but it was like unclear where he was going, and nobody knew if he was going to win or not. So my two picks are Daniel Bryan.
I like that.
Yeah, it's Daniel Bryan and Big E for me. When it comes to women's, the first person that came to mind was Charlotte, just because obviously she's not been there. And I think a return would be interesting. But can someone tell me, she did win last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if they want to go back-to-back wins with Charlotte yet this early still in her career. She's only, I think, what, five years has it been? 5 or 4 years.
About 5-6 years already in the ring.
5, 6 years.
So I don't know if that makes sense to go back-to-back with her yet. So if not Charlotte, the person who came to my mind next was actually Bayley, because she has had an incredible year. She's topped all types of lists. Do you know, like, was it PWI? I think that put her at the top.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number one, yeah.
She was number one.
Yeah, so I think Bayley, I mean, to close out this year, or start the new one, I should say, with that kind of win would be great for her. So Charlotte, Bayley, and then you really can't sleep on NXT, especially for the Women's Rumble. So I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley. I think she would have been more over had the pandemic not happened, but she did still get over with the mainstream fans. She's definitely she has one of the best personalities built up in NXT. A lot of the women do, which is what I love about NXT, but I'd say she's at top there. Like, you really know who she is. You know her personality as a competitor, and she's only been in it for a short amount of time. And I think she's younger than most of the women on NXT.
24.
Yeah.
She has plenty of time to develop.
Plenty of time, yeah. And I think a Rumble win, like if we're really considering somebody like Lana, I mean, you gotta put Ripley above that. Caliber.
Plan Z. I'm sorry, that's Plan Z.
Blame Anthony, man.
But I seriously think that those are my three. It'd be Charlotte, Bayley would be believable to me, especially to get a win under her belt, because I think that's what they're going to try to do eventually. Is all 4 horsewomen, and right now you have Charlotte and Becky have a Rumble win. And Sasha and Bayley are missing them. So Bayley's believable, and then Rhea. And then for men's, Bryan and Big E.
All right. I love it. So, Mr. Hero, he's turned off. I don't know why, but we'll find out right now. Mike, go ahead. What's your predictions?
My prediction is simple. The Fiend. Let him in. That's it.
He hasn't won one. That's right.
Yeah, I think Fiend is going to win the men's. And for the women's, Rhea Ripley. She went toe to toe with Charlotte this year, and why not? She's proven that she can go in the grandest stage of them all, so why not, right?
That's a good pick.
Wow, yeah. So there's his
really good pick.
Yeah, as you can see, his
He's
mask.
under the radar in Rumble Talk.
You have
All
Bray
right,
Wyatt get eliminated and then the Fiend come out. Like
I like that
yeah,
too.
you can
That's
do
cool.
that. That's a good way to put
Little
it.
Little Mick Foley thing there.
I love that.
Faces of Wyatt.
Yes,
I like
the faces
that.
of Wyatt. That's awesome.
Then you bring out Eaters of World Break too, like a 3.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
you
Nick.
can have three entries.
Yeah.
Great.
Nick,
Especially
go
with
ahead.
The roster being not what it is.
So-
98 Rumble.
So for me, I kind of agreed what Diamond Cutter said with Samoa Joe. I feel like because the thing is with that type of situation where you have someone on commentary come out and enter the match, because no one's gonna expect him. Yeah, I know Samoa Joe is like he didn't technically retire or get injured or anything. He just got placed in commentary. I think. Because the last time we've seen something like that was, I guess, like 9-10 years ago, where someone from the commentary booth just enters in.
It was
and then,
BBL, if I'm not
They
mistaken.
did it.
Yeah.
In,
It was all three.
Yeah, and Booker T too. I think he
Booker
did it.
T. Yeah.
They did
Yeah,
it in
I
the
know.
Cole
Book
even.
him like 97 Jerry Lawler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they did it in 2019 at the G1 Super card over in Madison Square Garden. Like Colt Cabana was on the announce table and was like, "Oh, I'm up," and then he just takes his shirt off and then runs to the ring.
That was actually great. I seen that. That was great.
Yeah, and Toru Yano was on commentary.
Yeah, I think Yano gave him a spot, didn't he?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna honestly just really quick. I was gonna say Big E or Lana, or if not Big E.
There we go. Thank you. At least someone agrees with me.
Lana. The reason I got Lana is because I definitely predicted that she was gonna win with
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, I predicted that. I knew she was gonna win. I knew
We
she was gonna win.
We talked about that, remember?
Talked about this. I knew she was gonna win. I said she was gonna be the last woman, so I gotta go Lana, and then I'm gonna go either Big E or hopefully the Fiend. The Fiend would be dope in a Royal Rumble.
So
He would be dope as maybe the last person to come out. You know,
real quick,
I think it
Kofi,
would be dope. So,
Kofi,
you know,
Kofi Weedston
Those are
actually
real
we go to this thing where they hold the pay-per-view events for jobber tiers, and we were actually sitting next to each other, and he was saying, "Yo, Lana's gonna be the sole survivor," and I'm looking at him like, "Nah, man, it's not gonna happen." Sure enough, I think you're writing for WWE on the low. You just don't.
Okay, you know, I gotta know: is Lana winning the Rumble what you want to happen, or you think's gonna happen?
I want it to happen.
Oh,
I want it to
happen.
happen.
Oh, okay.
That's where we're
That
sitting.
is different.
I'd be okay with that.
Wait. The reason being is because like who else? What other woman is pretty dope right now? Like
We can name a lot, bro. We can name a lot.
I could give you a couple.
We don't want to go through
Literally
the
anyone
list.
else. Literally anyone else.
Yeah, we don't want to go through the list, all right? We can
Take
go
the
through
money
list.
over Lana.
Entire NXT women's roster.
The size of Jericho's of women who are better.
Bobby Lashley's sisters. From
but I just think like why not, yo? They've already made mad mistakes. Why and they can't get rid of this stupid storyline they trying to get for her.
Yeah.
Why not? Let her win. Trying to put her over, let her win.
I for my women's predictions, I was gonna say somebody who is gonna return, because I know we were talking about like planting the seeds, and I think this might plant the seeds. And I may get booed for this from you guys. I don't know. It's not Lana. I was gonna say Ronda Rousey.
Here we go.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say Mandy Rose.
Oh no. I would never say that. But like I was gonna say Ronda Rousey because you have Sasha as champ. I have a feeling that Charlotte's gonna eventually return and beat Asuka with the championship for like the 20th or I don't know how many times at this point. 30. Yeah, I don't know. I got lost count, but
hate it.
But I feel like if we have Ronda face one of those two in just a single one-on-one match, beat them, it could eventually plant this seed for an eventually. But I hope it's to be another WrestleMania match with the 4-on-4 horsewomen. match at a WrestleMania. That's what I want to happen. That should be a WrestleMania worthy match if it does happen. So if Ronda Rousey does win and return and win it, I would love that to be like the planting the seed to that 4-on-4 match.
I'd love to see Ronda Rousey and Asuka get in there. I don't think they did much. I think they'd have a hell of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard hitting match. That's in Ronda's wheelhouse.
But just right quick though, what you just said about the 4 horsewomen, that should have happened at WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, that should have been happening.
Should have been Bailey on that one because that would make sense.
And you know what? They haven't even done anything for the other 2 women. They've only been on Raw Underground. They haven't been on the main roster ever since.
Raw Underground.
They should, because me,
R.I.P.
What was that?
Pepperidge Farm, remember?
Avocado. Who remember?
Avocado.
Almost.
Who's Uruya? I don't know who's that. Who's that guy? All right, Joe. The floor is yours.
All right, so I got 2 picks. I think the pick that is going to happen and what I want to happen. So who I think is going to win the men's match, Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Business.
I'm not mad at that.
I think it's leading up to leading up to getting all the straps on the Hurt Business and them being the top faction. And what I want to happen is The Miz. Because what would make you hate him more than the man who has the Money in the Bank, win the Rumble, lose the match at Mania, and cash in after, and still leave Mania with the belt?
I like
And
that
that's
too.
never been done
I
before.
like
That's
that.
so cool.
I do like that.
That's why we
love
say
that.
They do it like you
Are
have
you
like
writing
John
for
Morrison
WWE?
beat him up
Oh,
and get Miz disqualified, and then
we should.
Hold on, wait a minute. I think you're
I'll
right.
be right the idea before WWE takes it.
Yo, I just
Now
think that would be such a dope idea. It's never like we've seen cash-ins at Mania, but never the person in the match. I think it's just so out the box that nobody's thinking about it. And
That
then they
idea
could
might be too good for the WWE to take.
it
Yeah,
might
like
be.
you have them
that's-
beat down
thinking
McIntyre with chairs, and then just
Vince,
have
you
Miz
figure it out.
actually
We gotta change it,
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah.
We
You
gotta
win a lot,
figure it
just
out.
get
disqualified
That
intentionally.
was also
I think
one of the
I think if
reasons-
you say copyright right now, they can't take it.
Oh, copyright then. We go.
There you go.
That's also one of the reasons why I had Samoa Joe winning for me for the men's, because if you have him in the commentary table, you have him coming quickly because he's right there and limit the last person and win. As
That
a
is
typical
true,
heel move, it's like, oh damn it, of course he would
Yeah.
do that. And then I wanted to see him face McIntyre, because as much as I agree with, I think it was either Randy or
No, that was me. That said
that was you. Yeah,
in
one of you said like
Rumble.
everyone would be behind him if he does face Roman, but I feel like he would irritate people more as a heel facing off against McIntyre at Mania.
It doesn't really even matter. Joe, face or heel. We
It's
all
Joe.
Yeah, it's Joe.
Joe.
He's
He's great.
He's great here though.
I like
And
that
then-
Miz idea though, man. I could see like if they do Miz and McIntyre at Mania and then get the Miz intentionally disqualifying himself by using weapons to beat him down and then cash in right away, it would piss everybody off. I
Yeah,
love
it
that
just-
idea a
it
lot.
just
makes you
Really,
hate-
yeah,
it
I'm
makes
still
you hate
thinking
him
about.
more.
I love the Miz too. That'd
Yeah,
be
Miz he's a
fantastic.
cool guy too. I've met him once. He's a super nice guy, but I would love to see that, man. Cash it in at Mania, and I'm all
Isn't that
for
crazy that we're talking about a 40-year-old Miz maybe winning the title? I think that's just amazing. That
It's not that
the Miz is
Randy's
good.
40.
It's not that far.
have another
I mean,
title.
he's already. Even if he loses, he wins. Look who he goes home to. I
Well,
mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the man wins a
Two
life.
kids later,
Too
two kids
sweet.
later.
You can put out
That's a
there.
fact.
Too
I
sweet.
mean,
Yeah, big
I
time.
was
man
for it
wins-
10
man
years
wins a
ago.
life. No matter
I was
what.
for the Miz. I was for the Miz run 10 years ago when he cashed in then, and I'm double for it now. Like he's proven himself that
Yeah.
Intercontinental Championship run where he really, I thought, carried the show on his back for a while with the promos. He cut his IC champ.
Absolutely.
I think he's so underrated.
That
The
tough
Miz
He should have won the title
constantly.
then. He should have been champion at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I agree. I love the Miz. I think whenever he did he have triple titles at one point too? The unified tag belts and the
Yeah, the Big Show, yeah,
Big
and
Show,
US.
right?
Yeah,
US,
he.
yeah.
I've always been so over on Miz. So if that happens, if he wins the Rumble as Money in the Bank, I mean that's incredible. That's really creative there. Did you think of that yourself?
No, yeah, I love the
Wow.
Miz. I just would love to see that happen. I feel like it's so out the box, no one would see it coming. And then they could
So
even
cool.
build it up with once he wins the Rumble, don't show up with the Money in the Bank. Have people forget he even has it till Mania, and then let him lose the match or they get intentionally disqualified. And Morrison runs out with it, hands it to him. He cashes in, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot he had the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're definitely writing for that.
I'm
So
definitely.
we have
feeling
someone
that.
joining us right now.
We see this every
Brother
episode.
Bovan!
Golden, all
Good brother
right.
Bo! Get
Yeah.
the people what they want. Good brother Bo in the building.
Joel, I'm stealing that and putting it over on my show.
Definitely. Go ahead, man.
I'll borrow and just say, Joel.
So who is your women's pick then?
Oh,
since you're so creative with this now.
I don't have a real creative one for the women, but I have Bianca Belair.
Okay.
But I have Bianca versus Carmella at Mania.
You know what? I really do think Carmella might just win the title this weekend. I'm just putting that out there.
I talked about this on the latest episode. I think she won't win it this. I think she'll lose this Sunday, but it'll be controversial. Like let's say her hands under the rope or her shoulders up, and they still count to 3. She gets the rematch, and then she'll win. And then
Jonah!
Against Bianca, it'll be good.
What's up? I love that you're here.
Jonah?
We needed this energy that you just brought in here, man. We needed that. It just took us to a whole nother level. I love it.
Yo,
hey,
what's going on, y'all? Kyle, what the fuck is up, man?
What's going on, brother?
It's like he just entered at number 30.
Yeah.
It's a surprise entry just ran down.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Yo,
What's
we
good, bro?
man?
He won the match. He won the match.
We got to restart the podcast. Now he's here.
Yeah, no, you got to do it all over again.
Another 2 hours.
Yeah, let him talk for the rest of the show now. Let him talk. Let him-
All right, since he made it last section, so Brother Bovan, take it away. Who's your picks for men's and women's?
Yo, you gotta get the people what they fucking want, man.
That's what you do, brother.
For the men's and Lana, going for Lana for the women's, man. Remember,
What's going on?
Man. Yeah,
And
now
blame
it sounds so weird now, does it?
It still does, Anthony. It still does.
No, I know. It does.
Tyler got so stressed out just now, he took a shot.
Wait, who did he say for men's?
Biggie.
He said Big E.
Oh, Big E? Okay.
I gotta take a shot on that one. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going for
Shot of Bud Light.
If Ronda Rousey wins, just saying, it's gonna be her. Watch. I got my money on it.
You guys think there's gonna be any good
She
surprise entrances
debuted
this year?
We'll see.
I love surprise entrants, even if they don't win. Like MVP coming out last year was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And plus, it
Keith
led
last
to
year,
such
too.
great things. What'd you say?
Keith Lee's last year too.
Hell yeah.
That moment
yeah,
he had,
I love
that moment he
Keith
had with
Lee.
Brock was amazing. I would say
surprised if Kyle O'Reilly shows up at the road.
that's what I was thinking too. I was gonna say Kyle O'Reilly. That was I was just gonna say that.
thank you.
Kyle O'Reilly made debut.
You know I'm an undisputed era mark, so
I
any one of them
predicted
might
the
be
year that Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble.
I think
predicted
Ciampa.
it.
I think we're gonna see Ciampa in there.
Yes, there you go.
All right.
Maybe Ciampa,
I
yeah.
know the money
We see Gargano every year. I think Ciampa's gonna do it this year.
Champa has.
But yeah, let me get Kyle and Jeremy on this one. So whoever wants to start between both of you guys.
Oh, thank you, sir. All right. So for the men's, I agree with Bobby Lashley. That was also my pick, but I was thinking also what would be good, someone who we haven't seen in a while, and there's already a built-in storyline. Have Seth freaking Rollins come back and win the Rumble and take on Reigns. The story's already there. It's not the Monday
shields
night.
far away from each other. You gotta keep it far away.
You guys did the same thing when I said Roman Reigns was the best thing going so far.
I said no.
Watch. Seth freaking Rollins comes back, burns down the table.
You might
takes
be
the title
right.
from Roman. You got a program all summer. You're good, and you have Seth Rollins against Paul Heyman again, which is great.
All right, Kyle. I like that.
Thank you.
Now, I like it, but I'm like, I'm trying to keep this still far apart. They're married at the hip.
I'm going to agree with Kyle because I don't want to be proven wrong.
We have our first all-shield WrestleMania main event.
Oh, -1.
Well, yeah,
-1.
Guy. For the women's, I would love to see Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks as well. I don't see Carmella taking it from her this weekend, only because they've made such a big deal. And I said this on my spoiler alert, which comes out shortly, that they've built a lot on Sasha Banks not being able to keep a title and her being able to defend it twice. Well, technically the first time clean. They're gonna keep that belt on her. They're not gonna have Sasha Banks be the horsewoman who can win a belt but can't keep a belt. There's no way they're gonna do that.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
You done?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to be too long-winded about this because there were some excellent predictions from all you guys. I tell you, this video should be sent to WWE's creative department because I'm sure it's a hell of a lot better than what they do on a daily
Whatever they're
basis and
coming
get
up
paid
with.
more than all of us combined to do. With that said, if it were up to me, I would love to see someone like a Big E, like a Bobby Lashley, like a Bianca Belair. But the fact is, WWE is bogged down and stuck in predictability. And at the end of the day, it's a company run by a bunch of old white men on steroids who just don't change with the times, with a 74-year-old billionaire who is stuck in his ways and does not, see the world around him. So I think it's going to be predictable choices. I look at a guy like Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, selling tons of merch, making tons of money. Like with any good conspiracy, you follow the money. You see where things are going. I can't see it not being Bray. And with Bray, it's a bit of a safe bet because he could go over, get some revenge on Roman over on SmackDown because he did take the Universal title.
That story's not over.
Unfinished business there.
He never forgets.
Hey, he never forgets.
Or he could go
What about
after
Otis? What about Otis?
Oh, definitely. Oh my God.
It's as good as your Lana.
Yo, bro, how
You
you
guys want Lana and Otis?
Otis in the doghouse.
Hey, wait. Let's not forget Tucker. What about Tucker, huh?
We could forget Tucker.
Truth.
Ain't nobody care.
Hey, Tyler, you got that bottle, right?
Or
Switch it over here, bro.
Mace or T-Bar. Mace or T-Bar. Which one do you want?
Oh, Retribution.
Randy, what was your
T-Bar.
bottle
I
too,
forgot
man?
about Retribution. Can you imagine
We all
if
forgot
Ali
about
pulls it off?
Retribution.
Yeah.
Oh my
Imagine
God.
if Ali.
Get back on track. When it comes
I
down
have
to
a
it, on
strict
the,
rule on my show where I do not talk about
Oh,
Retribution.
hell no.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give that up. I'm sorry.
so on the women's side, I mean, the way I see it there, again, things just don't change in WWE. The man in charge wants his bleach blonde, fake boobed, artificial women with the championships around them because that's what he believes in. Clearly, can't see the forest from the trees, but to me, it's going to be Charlotte. But with the slight caveat that I think it will be Charlotte going over to SmackDown to challenge Sasha, because with Raw, I think they're going to have Becky come back and challenge Asuka as their WrestleMania main event. So that's why I think it's going to be Charlotte, but going to SmackDown.
Fair. That's a fair
I love
point.
that. That's a very, very, very fair point. Awesome. I love it.
But with that, if you have Becky at WrestleMania, would you say that they would have her win the Royal Rumble instead of Charlotte?
I think that it would be Charlotte. And Becky, she's got to get back in shape. She's just having a kid. That's a big deal. But I do think the story of Asuka kind of took her place. And now the rematch, not to mention that Asuka scored one of the most decisive victories over Becky at the height of the popularity of the man, made her tap out. I think that match, that story tells itself, but I don't think it needs the Rumble.
I agree with that.
I love that. I actually love that. That's a great alternative.
It could be like a no way out elimination chamber. So yeah, it could be like an elimination chamber, no way out type of thing. Winner gets number one contender, like how they had it before. But yeah, absolutely agree. Mr. James Bond, the voice of all voices. That's Mr. James. Take it away.
Right. Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got who I want to win, who I think will win. But I also got an idea in my head what I've been wanting to happen with the Money in the Bank for a while. I'll start off the women's. I want Rhea Ripley to win because she deserves it, especially after last year, losing the title to Charlotte, which should never have happened. I would like her to go up to Raw and face Asuka. At the minute, I can actually see Asuka Lana at WrestleMania, not for the sake that she might win the Rumble or not, but I think that's the way to go in. The person I think will win will be Charlotte. I know they've only had four. This will be the fourth Rumble, but I think she will be the first back-to-back winner. So that's who I go for that. For the men's, I want a surprise, and someone who I'm big behind, who I'd love to see do it, would be Karrion Kross.
That's
see,
a good
going
one.
the NXT route. Thank you. Somebody else going the NXT route.
That's Kyle O'Reilly. Oh.
Him and Damian Priest, the two people who's ready and made for the main roster. I love Damian Priest as well.
Damian Priest is
yeah.
But by the looks of Karrion's Kross's booking, it looks like it's leading up to him and Finn Balor at the takeover roundabout Mania time, which I'm looking forward to. But that's someone I would like to win, someone outside the box. the person who I think will win it, I've got to go with Big E. I've heard the arguments for it and against it, but one of the things what led me towards it this year, I think they was having the tournament, wasn't they, to get the number one contender and things like that. And they had the injury angle where they knocked him out of it. But it was the promo on Talking Smack, and one you just mentioned earlier, when Paul Heyman planted the seeds for the Roman Reigns, him becoming his manager later on in life and things like that. He kind of done the same thing like the other week, like thinking, right, the New Day's could be a footnote in your journey. And I would like to see it happen. Now, a storyline I would like to see happen, I would love to see The Miz cash in. But he cashes in on a match. So say for example, so this is my dream thing I would love to see. I would love to see a match between Orton and McIntyre again. Miz cashes in, makes it a triple threat match. But Orton pins The Miz. So
what?
McIntyre loses. Yeah, no, hear me right. McIntyre loses the title, but still strong because he didn't lose it. But Miz will go down to the first person who would have lost the title on someone else's behalf because he cashed in, and then have Orton as champion again, and that's the Royal Rumble. You think you know me? Edge returns, wins the Rumble.
Wow, my God!
Interesting.
Wow.
I see there's a lot of people on WWE payroll here.
Yeah.
No, actually, they should have us on payroll. We should be
They
the creative
should.
team to do it. You know,
They're going to send the stewards to watch this.
There you go.
What James just said,
if you will.
what James just said, there's like a lot going on there. But with the Edge returning, I was on a show with Mike and Tyler on Counted Out, and we talked about Edge. We talked about Edge coming back. And I don't see it because he did it in 2010. He did it in obviously last year, and then another return. I feel like it would just devalue the other returns we saw Edge already do. That's what came to my mind first when anyone ever brought up Edge coming out. And I do want to see him get another win. I think Edge deserves 2 Rumble wins, but I don't know. I think it's too soon. I think it would, I think they'd put it all over their social media. Edge return, they'd blast it like they did the last one, and it would totally kill the effect because what that last Edge return had was raw emotion. And that's really tough to get.
What if they announced it in advance, Jonah? What if they promoted his return at the Royal Rumble?
You have to think of what they did with Batista, and it was a predictable win because everyone knew that Batista was going to win.
So, but what if we get AJ Styles knock him out, and you set up a Mania match there between AJ
Styles
and
could be a winner. AJ Styles could be a winner.
What about AJ?
Yeah, no one's talking about AJ. I'd like to see him and Edge at WrestleMania this year. Personally,
everything.
The thing with Edge,
AJ
if Edge did, sorry, if Edge did win, seriously, who's going to be against it? It's Edge.
Right.
Yeah,
it's Edge. Okay,
I mean, he's a local boy for me, hometown pride for Edge.
Yeah. Well, then he'd go after.
There's a difference between Edge winning it and Goldberg. Let's be honest.
Yeah. No, that's such a fair point. He'd go after Drew then, right?
Work a spear.
Obviously, Edge would go after Drew.
Or Randy Orton.
Well, yeah, and if me thing with like say the Miz fails to cash in where he actually gets pinned and the title goes to someone else, I think they're talking about Orton and Edge having another match, but I don't know if it's the case like I'd see Edge like to win the Rumble, but I think it's just the idea that Money in the Bank. I would love to see a scenario where the person who cashed in actually lost the title on someone else's behalf. I think it'd be interesting. Same as the if Lana came out at number 30 when everyone's been chucked out. That was an idea.
I like that too.
That was an idea what was thrown about
Money in the
Jericho
Bank ideas.
returned years ago.
I mean, the ideas about the Money in the Bank. One of the things that I don't know if it's been talked about between you guys, but what about the possibilities of tomorrow Miz cashing in, where all he would have to do is just climb the ladder and grab the briefcase? He wouldn't even have to pin anyone.
That is a possibility as well.
I grabbed the title.
That's a great problem predicting this Rumble so early. We're still like a good.
That would probably debunk everybody's Rumble predictions here.
Yeah, that would be just all over again after tomorrow.
Yeah, we would have to do this whole thing all over again. Like immediately after TLC.
Just have the Miz girl in the crowd.
If the Miz
I really want them to bring her back. I want them to do something where they get her on the the Thunderdome. Sadly, she can't be there. I guess.
We
but just to see
all
that
jump
face.
on and put pictures of her on there.
I was hoping they were going to do that when Randy Orton won the belt and Miz had the money in the briefcase.
Yeah, yep.
But they were going to capitalize then as well.
There's a
Really,
big
really
name though that nobody really talked about. Does anyone think Brock Lesnar is going to come back at the Rumble? No, I don't think so.
I don't think he's coming at the Rumble. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I heard
They'll
he
probably
might
bring him
even
back
I saw
after
someone
and
coming
have
back tomorrow.
Not without a crowd, I don't think he's coming back.
I saw like a rumor that he's coming back tomorrow, like at TLC, but I don't see it. I don't think he's coming back. I agree without a crowd. I don't see Lesnar coming in.
Yeah,
I don't see
But
Vince shelling out all that money
built in there with him and Roman and Heyman in the middle. There's
I
something
mean, if
there
you want
too.
to think about Lesnar, a way that they can do it, which it'll really work the crowd, is you have Keith Lee as one of the last guys in the ring, and the number 30 is Brock Lesnar. Brock throws him out, and then you have Drew versus Brock at Mania. But because of the fan reaction, you know, we get another Daniel Bryan, and the fans want Keith Lee so much. So, if, you know, the authority figure puts in Keith Lee in the match for the triple threat, and that really ties into the rumor that we've been hearing about that. That's just a way for Brock, really.
Yeah.
Or
Just
when
the,
Lesnar wins and decides, fuck Drew McIntyre, I want Roman.
You,
yeah.
You got the Heyman in the middle.
So
there,
interesting
right?
too.
Yeah, he should go.
McMahon does have a hard-on for that match, so
Yeah.
I
does
see
he?
them doing that.
But the thing is, I want to
Just
see a
to-
face
Have
Lesnar for
Heyman
that
right
match.
in the middle. He
So
can't
do I.
build Lesnar, he
I
can't
agree.
build Roman. He's dead center.
What if Brock's on Raw and Heyman's with both of them?
Or that.
That'd be cool too.
That's
That would be
interesting.
different.
I've been waiting to see Lesnar come back with Heyman and Reigns. Like I'm such a Lesnar fan. I always freak out when Lesnar comes back. So seeing him come back as a face and try to advocate for himself in some way, I think we could see some really cool promos there. I think we could see some interesting happenings for sure. If Lesnar's like, you know, hey, what are you doing with this guy? You know what I mean? And then Heyman's like kind of in the middle, like you just said. I would be really excited for that. And I don't know which way Lesnar goes. I think he's still kind of a tweener at that point. Like,
Like,
I don't think he.
Yeah.
I would
he
be
openly
okay if
turns
Brock
face.
was the Raw champion and Roman was the SmackDown champion, and they kind of
And Heyman's
slow
got 'em
build like
both.
the two egos with
Yeah.
Heyman in the middle, trying to keep Then- peace, and then
then-
builds to a match maybe at SummerSlam.
Then Ronda
Set
comes
up
back
Paul
and she joins with Paul
Heyman being
Heyman.
like a Bobby the Brain.
Yeah, he's
Where
trying
he
to
has
keep
family,
peace,
like the
right?
Heyman guys. Yeah.
Right?
I love that. Yeah.
The
I
Heyman
think that'd be
family.
something different, something fresh
The
for
Heyman
Brock. 'Cause I think
family,
Brock and
yeah.
Heyman
You
have
have the
been a little
Heyman
bit
family.
stale, right?
That's
Just
very
to touch upon, like, say if it came down to Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar, they could do like a throwback and have two of them go out at the same time and make them co-winners, and then
Yeah.
the two of them go
Oh,
to
there you
WrestleMania.
go.
Triple
That's
threat.
the
Like,
big boys try to time that out, though.
James already knows
Yeah,
right?
right?
yeah.
That's Stephanie McMahon on speed dial. He knows what's happening already.
Hey, James, call Stephanie right now. I mean, you got Don Callis already. But call
Yeah,
Stephanie. See, we should be writers for WWE, definitely.
Yeah, that's
very-
our own promotion.
James
Hated
has
by
Jamie
George.
Noble bound and gagged in his closet, and he's just using him for info right now.
I fucking love you, man. Jesus Christ. All right, let's see what am I missing? All right, Mr. Steamboat, take it away.
So I gotta say that I just have two picks for the men's Royal Rumble, and that's mainly because of like I'll say this like you know if these two people win, I'll only forgive 15% of the wrongdoings of that WWE has done in the past 10 years or so, or 11. I don't know how many years it's been. Like let either Samoa Joe or Nakamura win the Royal Rumble and put the title on.
Nakamura is one I haven't
Cesaro,
heard
at
of.
least.
Wow.
Please, no way.
Everybody's
See,
like
you
complaining
already
he got
spoiled
caught.
mine already. Kyle, you already spoiled mine.
And let them win and
I'm
put the
sorry.
title on
That's
them
what I do.
out loud.
I know, you're the spoiler.
Because you know, that's like those are the two.
Didn't Knock win the Rumble?
Those are the two
Yes, he did.
2018.
that I'll put
2018.
against WWE. Not putting the title on Nakamura, not putting the
He
title.
lost the Rumble. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Talking about he won the Rumble, just lost to AJ, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot
It does.
believe they messed up Nakamura that bad. You had someone who was at the top of New Japan, and you fucked that up that bad. That's one of the worst ones.
To the
Like,
point
you
where
want
he
to talk
lost
about,
to Otis last night.
Oh yeah,
I was
right there.
mad about that.
That's why I don't watch. That's why I don't watch Raw.
That was actually SmackDown.
SmackDwn.
That's why I don't
That
watch
was
SmackDown either.
SmackDown's
Either
usually the good one.
Oh, hell no.
That's why I don't watch it at all.
No, not since the draft. No.
So for the women's, I guess Rhea Ripley. I guess would be the pick for the women's, but I don't really have too much invested in it. I haven't looked into it enough, but yeah, I guess my one pick for the women's would be Rhea Ripley, but I don't really have too much I don't have skin in the game for that one. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see, Mr. Killer, your predictions, sir.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Fiend to win the men's Royal Rumble, and then I'm gonna go with Alexa Bliss to win the women's Royal Rumble, and I'm gonna see that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I'm gonna see that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross feud all the way to about WrestleMania, and I'm gonna see that Randy Orton will feud with a Fiend until almost WrestleMania, till he joins him, or either he joins him at WrestleMania. The Fiend wins the belt, Alexa Bliss in the ring, Randy Orton in the ring. This is a whole new faction right here, motherfuckers. And I'm gonna tell you what, Nikki Cross will be with them too. And wait and see. I don't know what the fuck you gonna call it. Randy Orton, his voices in his head, those voices, the same voices that the Fiend hears. Come on now, this is the perfect alliance. I can't see Randy Orton being like on the Firefly Funhouse, like, hello, you know what I mean? I can't see that, but I can see the Fiend channeling the Fiend channeling his voices through Orton's voices, bringing back the Viper and getting rid of the reputation. Not the reputation killer. The what's he called? The Legend Killer. We'll see the return of the Viper at the hands of the Fiend, is what I'm saying. And I'm saying the Fiend and Alexa win both Royal Rumbles.
Okay.
Or we could see a brand new Randy Orton that we've never seen before.
Day.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
You're going to see a modern day Brood and meets the Ministry of Darkness shit. And hell, we need to throw Aleister Black in there too, and Finn Balor if we can.
Oh my goodness!
You could even get Randy Orton in the Firefly Funhouse doing exactly what Bray Wyatt's doing too.
Yeah,
just let Randy Orton flex his acting chops.
Randy Orton could stand there like the muscle when they're making jokes and shit, and it's like, you don't want to see the Viper. And then Randy Orton be over here like, come on, motherfucker.
And have Randy Orton act like the guy from
You know what I mean? Like, it could work. It could work. Oh, it could work.
There's a little Viper puppet.
Randy Orton working.
Snake puppet.
The snake puppet, yeah.
Not the Santino one, all right?
Not the Santino, not the Cobra.
Not the Cobra.
I'm telling you right now, I'm going to predict it right now. And another, I got a second pick too. It could be Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That's what I feel is destined to happen. Two heels, but maybe at the end of the match, Rollins becomes face again, or either Roman becomes face again. And then my second pick for the women's Royal Rumble is I want to see Ronda Rousey return and face Asuka.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
Somebody on board. I got somebody on board.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Somebody on board.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, yes, with the men's, I mean, Kyle spoiled for me. I did want Cesaro because remind you, everyone, that they're looking at Vince asked for a list. Who's the underutilized I haven't used? I'm like, oh well, a lot of them, buddy. So you haven't used a lot of them. So I would say Cesaro. For my men's pick, Cesaro, Samoa Joe was another one. I did love how everybody said it. I love it. Come on. I'm tired of seeing Samoa Joe on a damn commentary table. He needs to be in the ring. He needs to get back in the ring.
That's it. Just stay away from the injury bug, please. It's the injury bug that kills him.
Yeah, it does. But he goes hard.
No more tope suicidas, just choke people out.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with whatever he goes with. So I mean, yeah, I'll go with them. I still want Big E as well because it's his time. Yes, I understand how you said like you said, Eric, you said about
I
okay,
feel
having
I feel like we got to build up Big E a little more.
Well, yeah,
I don't disagree with that either.
I feel they have him in its icy picture for right now because this current storyline they have.
Next year, I can see by next year he'll be ready.
Or how about
ready
this?
by next year.
You give Big E the Rumble win, but you give him the Roman treatment. You don't have him win at WrestleMania.
Okay.
There's people that win from losing. You know what I'm saying? Have him chase the title. Have him, because he's supposed to go through a character change.
You can do that
So
too.
have him win, but lose the match at Mania, and he revamps himself. He totally says, you know what? I got to throw away the whole happy-go-lucky character. I got to get serious. And then you have a rematch at SummerSlam. Have him win at SummerSlam. That makes sense to me.
It would make sense. And not only that, I mean, I'm with you on that. Just to add more to it, especially like you kind of like compare it to not too much of it, but almost compare it to like the Daniel Bryan era, like it's an underdog with the Yes movement. Kind of like that, though. Even the Kofi
Mania.
one.
Yeah.
Kofi Mania as well.
Yeah.
Because remind you that Daniel Bryan was the one that went to Vince, hey, I need you to push Kofi. You know, Ali did not make it to the Elimination Chamber, so it was Kofi who went in there and he got the hype. Build it up, and it got built up, and Vince was just sleeping on it until Daniel was the one, told Vince, I need this guy to face me at Mania and let him go over. And it went phenomenal, it went great. I was happy. I actually cried. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, and you know, I say that for the Black and Brown community because you know that's how I feel about it. You know, but yes, I feel the same for Big E. I think they should do that for him. I think he deserves that as well. He deserves that push. How you said he should be serious. Yes, be a serious underdog and go out there like against Roman. I would love to see him and Roman because Roman, how with this character, how they're developing it. Like, yeah, he's the head of the table, cool, whatever. You're taking away food from Big E. I want Big E to be, I'm hungry. That's my plate. And let me get that motherfucker. That's what I want to see, that ruthless aggression from Big E. And
There's
him
a
winning
lot of people that have won from losing. So
An honorable mention for me, someone that probably no one would ever think of. I've been a fan of him since NXT, and I think he's set for a main event push. Probably Andrade.
They want to pair him with Charlotte. They want to make him like a
unless they have both of them return, have both of them win the Rumbles, and have both of them go in the main event of WrestleMania.
They're trying to
that's the way they're going. Then maybe
it all depends how they're gonna come, how they're gonna build them. It's just very different because as a pair couple, no, it's not gonna work. I'm just saying it's not gonna work at all.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It won't work. It's better their own separate careers individually. It isn't unfortunate that they go, you know, Thea Trinidad, formerly known as Salida. That I love that. The fact that her and Andrade was the best ones. You know, like I love that.
Yeah.
And it sucks that shit happens, but that's another topic to talk about.
What's been going on with Angel Garza? I thought they were really high up on him, and I haven't seen
he's been doing vignettes. He's been doing vignettes.
Next one up.
Yeah.
He's been doing vignettes on Raw.
He's been wrestling on main event, though.
Yeah, he fought Keith Lee. No.
Oh yeah.
He's done a couple matches on the main event. Yeah.
That's another thing that I'm not going
I
to
see
few of WWE.
I see Garza more than Andrade, honestly. If we're looking at like someone to just come in and take it, I see Garza way more than Andrade.
True.
Just because I think Garza had more. I thought Garza had more momentum, definitely, before they both like disappeared.
Maybe Andrade wouldn't be bad going back down to NXT for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, let him
Los
get that in-ring shine again.
Los Ingobernables.
I think Andrade is awesome.
You could build that faction down there.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah.
You could build that faction down there in NXT with him.
Well,
and Santos.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm with you on that.
Talking. Now you're
I
talking.
love those guys. I love them down at NXT.
Now you're talking my language. Imagine thinking about that. Bringing Los Ingobernables to NXT, having Andrade taking over, and fuck, that'd be the shit. Oh my God.
Put him to that level they're looking for right now.
That brings a different element.
All right, well, my women's, yes. I want to use Shirai. I do want Rhea Ripley, for sure, because I think it's about her time, but I'm scared for her to go to the main roster.
Yeah.
Because I know they're gonna bury the shit out of her, especially if she goes to Raw. I would like to see her and Asuka. That's gonna be not a bad match either. That'd be two different, different talents. Exactly, different styles and not WWE styles. These two different independent workers. from their, from their respective territory where they came from. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I would not mind. I would not mind. I really want to see Shayna. Why I say Shayna? Because you mentioned that
dominant,
very dominant. They haven't built her. She needs to be built. I don't like the fact that how she went to the roster, the way how she went was ridiculous. I don't. In the beginning, they
started out well. She cleaned house at Elimination Chamber, and then a roll up at Mania just killed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to see her, we all want to see her Ronda, and Shayna Baszler. Why not?
Yeah.
But that's not gonna happen. I mean, it's just. But I will redevelop Shayna and make her like she's supposed to be the badass Brock Lesnar female version. It's supposed to be Ronda that way, but Ronda. We don't know if Ronda's gonna come back or not. We don't not know that yet. Maybe she is, maybe she's not.
Teetering and tottering and whatnot.
Well, I mean, she trained with alongside with Teal Piper, which is Roddy Piper's daughter, but just training and everything by far. But I think she actually looks like she's ready, but I don't know. I just see it right now as what's shit going on. Changes are coming after TLC. And yes, I'm mentioning now, but this is pre-recorded for the Christmas Eve special. But yeah, but after all that, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what changes are going to come. We won't find out until the next, 48 hours of what's going to happen, what type of changes are coming for Raw and SmackDown. And then you could change a lot of things from the Royal Rumble. But by far, those are my picks. Now, one thing I do want to do, which if you guys are willing to do it, I'm willing to do it. Let's make a wager on this. We should put let's put a pot on it. Let's put a pot on it. How much you guys want to put? 5 each?
Short.
Or $5 each?
Yes.
Put it in a pot. The winner, whoever got the prediction right, will take the pot.
What if it's nobody that we chose?
And
You're gonna mail me a check?
Then you keep your money back.
Okay.
Fandango makes a return and wins the Rumble.
Just do me a favor. Don't put spoiler on the check. The bank won't take it.
Don't forget, we got to figure out the exchange rate too. For us.
True.
Yeah, we're a couple Canadian boys here.
Canadian.
I mean, it's able to do it.
The UK, completely different over here.
They have no cash app.
Yeah, that's true.
Got them pounds.
Pounds, I don't mind. Anything. I don't mind at all.
It's not too bad, actually.
39 cents for you Canadians.
Yeah, it's not good.
I'm pretty sure us giving James money is more money when he gets it, right?
Oh, that's
Am I
true.
right?
It's not good.
I'm pretty sure us giving James money is more money when he gets it, right?
Oh, that's
Am I
true.
right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets more money.
He's trying to keep silent, but
he gets the good end of the deal.
British pounds.
Yeah, it's better than the $5. Just more for me.
James, I tell you what, if I somehow win this thing, I'll let you keep your money if you can get Ross Foreman to return one of my emails, okay?
James
That's
gets
fair.
$5
That's
from all of us and the ransom money for Jamie Noble. That's fantastic.
British pounds is £3.
Goddamn.
70 pence and £3.
So how about it? Is that a yes or a no?
Call
Should we
back.
do a wager? Yes or no?
Hey,
sure.
I'm in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm down, yeah.
All right.
Do it then.
So remember your picks. If it's a tie, then we can split. So
Okay.
and then
Okay.
we'll come together and then we'll figure out how we're gonna wire transfer. It doesn't matter.
Should we live stream the Bro Rumble? Like do like a live stream thing, or we all come together and watch it at the same time?
I would
Or is
love
it-
to do that. And
Yeah.
if you guys want to do it, I'm
Hell yeah.
willing
If
to
it
do
can
it.
happen, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Might as well. Oh my God, we've been here for so much while, but we want to go ahead and thank everyone, to our viewers and to our subscriber for
That's right.
joining us in this Christmas Eve special. We're doing this for you guys, for our viewers, for our subscribers that subscribe to our respective channels. We thank you very much for tuning into our content and continue to spreading the love and words of each of our channels towards worldwide, internet, everywhere. Let them know of what we do. And we would like to thank, once again, all of you guys for tuning in, watching this Christmas special. And I should want to go ahead and thank all my brothers here in this big round table of the League of Extraordinary Podcasters. I want to thank all of you guys for coming back once again, and the new ones who came and joined us as well. Thank you so much, and hopefully you guys come back around. We could do another one. How Nick said we could do a Royal Rumble one live, and also we could do a Mania one of Mania predictions if you guys want to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Definitely.
I want to say one thing. Are the did we lose both Dirty Heels by any chance?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, we did.
So okay. So if Lana
Someone has
wins
to
the
catch up,
Rumble,
yeah.
they don't know about the wager. Okay?
Say Anthony. All we go say.
I do. I'm not paying up
Go
to
say
a Lana
Anthony.
win.
It's like I do.
He goes
You
down.
live near them. You live in their like near their place. You walk down the street.
Hey man, if you hear those saxophones at number 30, that's all I'm saying.
I'm closing my wallet. That's what I'm doing.
Of course, before everyone wraps up, I'm the new guy here. Can you guys, for the people that are going to be listening on my viewership, can you guys just plug your stuff, man? Where we can find you guys? You want to go around the circle?
Myself and Big E on the bottom. Myself and Big E. We are the Backstage Brawl podcast. You can find us on YouTube at The Backstage Brawl. Our Facebook is at The Backstage Brawl. Our Instagram is Backstage Brawl. Our Twitter is Backstage
_brawl.
_brawl.
Yeah, yeah. We couldn't get that.
Just,
Somebody else got it.
we just put an episode up on. We just started Apple audio podcasting, so we just put our stuff on Anchor FM, on Spotify. Our previous 38 episodes are on YouTube. If you care to, if you can watch them. We do Instagram Live or Brawl Talk Live every Saturday.
Every 12:30 on Saturday.
Eastern time on Saturday with myself and Eric. Yeah, that's basically us.
That's
Joel
it.
and
You wanna
I
see my lovely face Saturdays at 12:30 with my coffee and my Batman glass and everything. But yeah, that's everything there.
Oh hell no.
Joel and I, you can find us at the Ring Fanatics everywhere. Same thing, same username. Both Twitter and Instagram at the Ring Fanatics. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. Not on Apple Music. We couldn't get ours on there for some reason. It's not working. But you can find us on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube right now, and of course Instagram and Twitter.
Tyler, how about you? Oh yeah, go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm at the TITANTRON podcast on Instagram. Same as Backstage Brawl. I couldn't get at the TITANTRON, so I'm at the _TITANTRON. TITANTRON on YouTube. I'm on Anchor, Radio Public, Breaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it. Having a little trouble with the audio podcast, but we're working it out. And yeah, that's pretty much all. I'm the podcast that gets you your information and gets you the hell out of here. So that's my little moniker there. So you can find me on those handles.
Tyler, how about yourself?
You can find myself and my co-host Mike. We are at Counted Out, the number 7. We do a weekly top 7 countdown podcast. Every Thursday we drop it. It's just so much fun, man. Getting to go back and rewatch some old wrestling. We recently just did the top 7 Ric Flair Starrcade matches.
Ooh.
We do some interviews every now and then. So you guys like countdowns, man? Check it out.
Definitely. I can see that. The James Bond of Bond Voices. Where can they find you?
Me or Jonah?
I said about voices. Okay.
I'm the voice. He's the same. Yeah, thanks again, lads, for coming on. You can find my show, That 90s Wrestling Podcast. It's on YouTube. It's on Podbean, Spotify, Anchor, and all them good places. And yeah, and if people want to check it out, basically, I interview wrestlers past and present. Do top 25 countdowns. I've got a fun video I'm thinking of putting out this Tuesday. What Vince McMahon thinks of the AEW roster. So I'm pretty excited.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that.
I like doing impressions, so it's going to strain my vocal cords, but I'm looking forward to doing it. But yeah, we've got interviews with a few of the names we mentioned earlier: Don Callis, Thunder Rosa, Nick Aldis. So yeah, and a few more lining up. Hopefully next week I'll be talking to Al Snow. So we'll see how it goes.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to it.
If you're going to talk to Nick Aldis, can you tell him I stole my wife, Nikki James, from me?
Here we go. We'll talk about that out the air. We want to.
I joke.
All right, Mr. Kyle and Jimmy Prophet, where can they find you guys?
You can find us every Wednesday night on YouTube, 7 p.m. You can check us out on Twitter. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, We do put content out on TikTok. We got a couple of. We got YouTube. We got good idea, bad idea. We got spoiler alerts. We got live reactions. We got interviews. We got all kinds of shit for you.
Yep. And as for me, you can find me on Twitter at Jeremy Prophet. That's exactly like how it's spelled there on the little screen we got. I'm on Instagram also, not on too often, but if you look up The Real Jeremy Prophet, that'll be me. And yeah, you know, feel free to follow me, interact with me. 15 years in the business, tried out with WWE, with a lot of the top companies, top talent in this country. And I'd love to be able to be a guest on all of your shows, especially you, James, because I'm trying to get over the pond there and get over to the UK. So, you know, I'd love to connect directly with your audience and help me get into that amazing scene you have there. But if any of you guys want me, you know, I'm free pretty much any place, anytime, and we can do some good business.
All right, I want you,
Jeremy. I've heard of you, man. I know you. I know your work, Jeremy. We'll get you over on Count It Out, man. Local Canadian boys, man.
Hit me up tonight, man. I'll be glad to
get you.
Same here, Jeremy. I'm gonna hit you up. And also, styling, profiling, Will and Dylan. Where can they find you, Mr. Jonah?
Yeah, no, this was great. Again, I love doing these. I can't wait for us to do some more. And you could find us on Instagram, Facebook, and especially YouTube at Rewind, Recap, Relive. We got tons and tons of interviews. We just released episode 25 with Just Incredible. In the past, we had Godfather, Ricky Morton, and a bunch of other legends, so many. And the point of our show is to actually bring on the other 50% of the episode, which is the Rising Star. And we pair them up. So we've had tons of great rising stars. We've had a bunch of guys from Philly, a bunch of guys from some from Canada. We've had a lot from the Midwest. So many great names. So I've loved seeing all the different wrestling that's out there and learning more about these other indie promotions. And Jeremy, I'd love to have you on too. 15 years in the business. I'd put you in the rising star category if you wouldn't mind. Of course, I don't know if that's your cup of tea, but we could talk about that for sure. Get you on with a veteran.
The way I see it, you know, whatever you want to do, you're the man running the show, so I'm all good with it. I don't necessarily consider myself a rising star. I kind of am someone who just hasn't been given the stage and the proper spotlight yet. But if any of y'all are familiar with my work, you know that it's top notch and, you know, best in the world.
It'd be interesting to hear that perspective too. Yeah, no, I've definitely heard the name before. Yeah, so I'll definitely watch some of your work. But yeah, that's our show, and you can find us on social media at Rewind, Recap, Relive, and I'll even drop something else. We might have in the next couple of weeks a certain good brother coming on the show. So you heard it here first.
You heard it here
exclusive.
first.
All right.
No details. No details. So yeah, thank you so much. And our brothers that just left. I mean, I guess they lost the call or disconnected or whatever happened. Our brother Bovan and Kofi Weedston, the Dirty Heels podcast, they give the people what they want. Make sure you put it on their YouTube channel, on Spotify, on Last Out Media. Make sure you follow them as well. And also for us here on Circle Debate, you can find us at Circle Debate, at Twitter, at Circle Debate, on Instagram, also on our YouTube channel. And where else they can find us, Mike, besides that?
Yeah, well, we have our own website, circleofdebate.com, that we're putting together some finishing touches. We're everywhere. And you guys can, everybody here can follow me on Instagram, randomhero2099. It's my personal account. So yeah.
And Matt, where can they find you individually?
So I actually have us hooked up with the Japanese live streaming platform. It doesn't have all the problems that we have on some of the other streaming platforms, but I'm on twitcasting.tv, and I actually host a show that's going to I'm going to start recording episodes of this new show called The Unique Music Show, and actually features musicians like one-man bands and people that play the guitar with their feet and all kinds of insane stuff. So so music's really like my main thing majority of the time, but I'm also part of this podcast. Of course, you can find me MG_TGOM on Instagram. So, all right.
Yeah, Mr. Killer, where can they find you individually? We can hear us.
Oh, at Josh Brett Horton on Twitter and at Josh Brett Horton on Instagram, and look up Josh Brett Horton, JOSHBRETTHORTON on Facebook.
That's right,
ladies and everything else, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right, you heard it right, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say one thing. It is great to be back on the Circle of Debate. If you don't know what I mean by circle debate, I mean the #1 fucking podcast in the world. You better feel it because we coming for that top spot. We climbing the ladder. You better, you headed to the top. You headed to the top. You better meet us there.
That's how you end this. That was a great
I
moment.
fucking love it. But yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can find us, which we will have that description below. All of our brothers' links, their YouTube channels, their social media platforms, right in the description right below. So don't forget to subscribe to their channels as well. So from us, from all of us here, from the United Kingdom, from Montreal, Quebec, from the Queens of New York, from all over NYC, from the East Coast to the West Coast, and for the Midwest, whoever's in the Midwest, well, we cheers you. Salud, a Merry Christmas.
Fake beer. Yeah.
And a Happy New Year's to you guys. I think we should all say it together.
Salud.
And the most important part of this, remember, wrestling is life.
That is right.
Yes.
Wrestling is life.
Yes.
Can we all say it together at least? Merry Christmas.
All right, let's do it.
All right. We'll say it together, all of us on 3. 1, 2, 3. Merry Christmas.
That wasn't lame at all.
Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in.